MEAC SWAC Challenge has a new home. Orlando, Florida is the site of the 4th annual battle between HBCU schools. Today's matchup features the Jackson State Tigers, the 2007 SWAC champions, and the Hampton University Pirates, led by first-year head coach Jerry Holmes. College football's opening week continues next on ESPN2. The 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by Disney. And we're at the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida for the 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge as the Tigers of Jackson State, representing the SWAC, come in to take on the Hampton Pirates, representing the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Hello again, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Jay Walker, the former Howard University quarterback. And we'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to Orlando on this Labor Day weekend. And this rivalry between these two conferences and this MEAC SWAC Challenges has already the MEAC ahead 2-1. Is this the evolution of a rivalry?
I think so. I think what the MEAC has done is earn credibility against the SWAC conference. The SWAC has always been the more glorified and highly publicized conference, but the MEAC, through the MEAC SWAC Challenge, has gained credibility amongst their SWAC counterparts. That's why they have the advantage in this series, 2-3 in the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
And when you talk about the game story here today, we're talking about two quarterbacks who are untested, starting with Trey Rutland from Jackson State and Herbert Vines from Hampton University, each with only one career start.
And, you know, when they make their second career start, it doesn't matter how they got here. The key is they got here by two different paths. Trey Rutland was in a heavily contested quarterback battle with Michael Mosley, and Herbert Vines got here because of the academic casualty of returning first-team all-conference quarterback T.J. Mitchell. With that being said, what happened a week ago is gone. The future is now, and now involves winning the 4th annual MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Well, a lot coming your way over the next 3 hours. Mickey and Minnie are here, of course. And, of course, the Battle of the Bands coming your way at halftimes. That's always something you want to see. And, of course, Jackson State's alum, Walter Payton, had an award named in his honor for this event. And the players had a chance to enjoy some of the festivities at Walt Disney World. All of that coming up in a moment.
The MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by Disney Parks. Brought to you by Burn After Reading, the new spy comedy starring George Clooney and Brad Pitt. In theaters everywhere September 12th.
Welcome back to Orlando and the Citrus Bowl, where the MEAC SWAC Challenge is about to get underway. And the third member of our broadcast team today is Quint Kesnick. He's down on the sideline. Let's go down to Quint right now.
Yes, I'm on the Hampton sideline where Coach Jerry Holmes' belief in himself is unwavering. It stems from his background. One of 10 kids growing up in Newport News, Virginia. His father had to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. His football career got off to an undistinguished start. He had to walk on to a junior college team. Ends up playing in the NFL for 12 years at cornerback, and confidence is a way of life for cornerbacks. On Friday night, that confidence surfaced at the banquet between these two teams. Coach is up at the podium, points to the MEAC SWAC trophy, and starts rattling off reasons why Hampton would beat Jackson State. Charlie, certainly a lightning rod already before kickoff is his first-year coach.
Yeah, no question about it. He also started something at the kickoff luncheon for this MEAC for the season when he took his shoe off and threw it in the audience when people asked him, how are you going to follow Joe Taylor, who was here for 16 years? He says, I have my own shoes. And don't forget, you're watching coverage of the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge, presented in high definition on ESPN2 HD.
Talk about all the things that happened that Jerry Holmes did going into this game. I wonder if you call that a rookie coaching mistake. Because, you know, one thing, you got a game that's got to be played on Sunday, and as a coach, you can sell all the wolf tickets you want, but can your players go out there and back you up on Sunday? So I thought that was a little bit of being naive and inexperienced on Coach Holmes' part. But let's see, is this team that good, or we can go out there and claim a victory before it even happens?
Well, Hampton University will receive the opening kickoff. They are the home team today, and they're in their dark jerseys as you look at the ball on the tee for Jackson State. And that is Number white, the white jerseys being worn by Jackson State. Jabril Smith will kick it off. And the ball blew off the tee. A little windy here in Orlando today. James Butts is one of the deep men to receive this kick, along with the very dangerous Kevin Teal, a senior out of Bowie, Maryland, wearing number 16 on the other side, who was 5th in the MEAC in kickoff returns a year ago. That's Butts, number 2. Here's the kick by Smith. Comes to Teal at the 5. Teal gets to the outside, has a little wall, has speed, cuts it back into the middle, across the 40. McField still on his feet, finally brought down by the kicker, Smith, but not before he got to the 45-yard line of Jackson State. A 51-yard return. What a way to start the season for Kevin Teal.
Oh, what a great job. When you've got speed like he does, you have the ability to get all the way over here to the outside, and you see the wall and the lead blockers out in front of him. Great vision and great speed. We talked about the fact that these two guys can get it done. They're not very large, but Hampton special teams traditionally have been some of the better special teams in all of black college football.
And Hampton University with the ball just inside the 45. They'll mark it at the 44. They're working out of the shotgun with an empty backfield. It is Mathis who gets the handoff when there's a keeper by Bynes, and Bynes is down to the 35. Gain of 9 yards on the play for the redshirt sophomore quarterback who's making a return to his home state. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And there he is. The stats on him. He is 6'4", 236-pounder, and making only his 2nd career start. He was a backup to T.J. Mitchell a year ago. 2nd and 1 for Hampton University. Now he wants to put it in the air. His first collegiate pass is way over the head of Gilchrist. And let's look at Hampton University. And the backs and the receivers for Hampton University. It is at the top of your screen. Their running back is Dennis Mathis. He's wearing 22, and everybody's worn 22 at Hampton recently. Has been something to reckon with. Number 3 rusher on the team last year. 2 good receivers, Teal and Gilchrist. And then an offensive line, Ryan Cave is the man at center, and he's down to 300, I should say, and 60 pounds. And here again on the carry is Mathis, who picks up the first down inside the 33 to about the 32-yard line. A gain of 3 before Marcus Bernard, number 80, a senior out of Ypsilanti, Maryland, was there on the defensive side of the ball to make the stop for Jackson State. Let's check out Jackson State's defense on the top of the screen. Marcus Bernard, first team all SWAC. Good set of linebackers led by Marcellus Speaks, who led the team in tackles last year. Dominic Johnson, a transfer from Missouri. A lot of the pro scouts are looking at him. Here's a little swing pass out in the flat. And it's Coker on the reception. And Coker loses maybe a yard. And here's a young man that's going to be very electrifying for Hampton University offensively. He's a young man that transferred from Tennessee. They call him the home run back.
You know what? That's one thing that Hampton has always had is good running backs. And Hampton's one of the few programs in America that hasn't had a history of consecutive 1,000-yard rushers on the same team. So they know how to do that 1-2 punch effectively. And this year it seems like it's going to be Dennis Mathis and LaMarcus Coker.
Yeah, you were talking about Alonzo Coleman and Adrian Daniels, Ardell Daniels rather, for the young men you were speaking of earlier. 2nd down now, long, and it's Coker on the carry. He gains back the yards that he lost. Gains about 4 yards down to about the 31-yard line. Let's look at Hampton's impact players, Jay.
I think we got our first taste of Jeremy Gilchrist, one of the fastest guys on the field at all times. Gilchrist and Teal, small guys, but they can get it done. They play very big. Dennis Mathis, a running back, high expectations, and their best defensive player is Jackie Bates, NFL potential all day long.
Right now, Coker's in the backfield, the lone setback. Bynes working out of the shotgun. Remember, the other thing we're going to take a close look at today, and quarterbacks are having to adjust to, is the new rule on the play clock. He pulls it down, and he's going to be sacked. The first sack of the year for Jackson State defensively. And the loss is all the way back to the 39-yard line, a loss of 5 on the play. And let's talk about the play clock, game clock. The new rules changed this year, 40-second play clock after each play. It's only set to 25 seconds on administrative stoppage, such as penalties, timeouts, injuries, and things of this nature. Game clock restarts after an out-of-bounds play once the ball is responded, but that only happens with under 2 minutes to go in the half or in the fourth quarter. Now a timeout is being called by Jackson State, so they've used one of their 3 timeouts so far. 11:34 the time remaining here in the first half. No score, and now Hampton getting ready to turn the ball over in terms of punting.
Yeah, we talked about the 2 quarterbacks coming here without experience. One thing you can't do when you're close to the red zone is get sacked. So as we go back to that previous play, Bynes has time to get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball right there. You don't get sacked. You're still in field goal position. Instead, he loses 6 yards on that play. They're out of field goal position. Now they must kick the ball away with the punt, walking away without any points on the board. A little bit of inexperience showing here early in this contest by Herbert Bynes.
And we'll see. He only played 3 games last year. They say if anything calms him down, it is going to be the offensive line. As you look at the coach for Jackson State on the far sideline, Rick Comegys. It is 4th down. And not a good kick from Jamal Blanchard, who was an all-conference kicker a year ago.
It was effective.
But it was effective.
No
It was only 27 yards on the punt, but he got it down to the 16-yard line. And that's where Jackson State will start at their own 16. Rick Comegys, of course, 3rd year there, replaces James Bell. 3 years ago, he was a graduate of Millersville. He was a head coach at Tuskegee for 10 years. Won 4 SIAC titles and was the Black National Champs back in 2000 when the team went 12-0. And now Trey Rutland is running the offense for him this year. Jimmy Oliver was the quarterback of record a year ago. Marcel Frost as the tight end was the man in motion. And they keep the ball on the ground with Laude Darzan and Trey Rutland. James Ingram on the stop defensively, a gain of 2 yards on the play. Trey Rutland, a junior. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia, making only his 2nd career start. He's 0-1 as a starter. Lost to Tennessee State a year ago as a starter in that Southern Heritage Classic. That game played up in Memphis, Tennessee. 2nd down and 8 now for the Tigers of Jackson State, working out of the I formation. He wants to throw it. The left-hander has it complete to Simpson on the near side. Simpson at the 20-yard line. He's about a yard shy of the 1st down. A gain of 7 on the play. At the top of the screen, here's Jackson State, the rest of their offensive alignment. Carlos Simpson led the team in receptions a year ago with 41, and he's on his way already with a catch today. And a freshman in the offensive line, but veterans in Michael Smith and Michael Harshaw will help them forget that there's a freshman up there. Lone setback now on 3rd and short. And here's to the outside, Darzan. He's going to be close. They may have gotten it out to the 21, 22-yard line before Sweat came up to make the stop defensively. Number 50 for Hampton University, the junior out of Nashville, Tennessee. There he is. Played 10 games for the Pirates a year ago. Let's look at Hampton University's defense. James Ingram, a transfer from West Virginia. Charles Young steps in for Kendall Langford, who's with the Miami Dolphins. Here's a 1st down pass, and this one is incomplete. Good defense by Jackie Bates on Carlos Simpson downfield. Number 1 on 4.
That's one thing that you have to look for in this contest. Will they have the ability? We talked about Jackie Bates. He's got great NFL potential. Can he guard and lock up man-in-man against the number 1 offensive threat for Jackson State, wide receiver Carlos Simpson? In the early battle, looks like Bates got the best of him.
Well, one of the things we talked about earlier in the week with Hampton University is the fact that a year ago they were 7th of 9 teams in the conference in pass defense. And can they improve on that lot this year? Especially against a pass-happy conference like the SWAC. They like to put the ball up, and James Woody, their offensive coordinator, doesn't mind throwing it. This one is complete all the way across midfield. And it was Tillman on the reception. Keenan Tillman, freshman out of Milton, Florida.
Yeah, you talk about him having a good body, 6'5", 220 pounds. The quarterback, Rutland, does a good job of throwing that ball where only Tillman can make the catch, coming into your living room. And this is what you want your wide receiver to do. Play big, use your height to your advantage, go up and catch that ball at its highest point for the big play for the Jackson State Tigers.
30 yards on the gain. And the ball, as you see the stats on Tillman, is across midfield at the 49 on Hampton University territory. First down and 10. Rutland wants to go to the air once again. On the near side, he has it complete to Jackson. Brian Jackson, a junior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has another first down, gain of 15. And we're talking about impact player. Of course, Trey Rutland is one of them.
Well, the quarterback, and he's looking good right now in the second drive, this first drive of this game. Carlos Simpson, we've heard from him earlier. Dominique Johnson, the 5th-rated cornerback in the country. Not on this level, but in the country. And Marcellus Speak, the sideline linebacker for Comagie's defense.
Rutland 3 of 4 in the passing department, 48 yards, and has marched his team from his own 16 all the way down into Hampton University territory. They have the ball at the 31-yard line as Dorzan gets the call, and he goes straight ahead for 2 yards before Good. Joaquin Good, the leading returning tackler, wearing number 49 there for Hampton University, made the stop defensively.
That's where you talk about a team that's been decimated. Joaquin Good is the leading returning tackler. He was only 7th. He was only the 7th leading tackler on the Pirate defense a year ago, so they've had to replace that whole front 4 along with 2 linebackers and a safety, and they're really counting on Good to keep his production at that high level.
Rutland going to the air once again. This one was thrown behind Simpson. Carlos Simpson, the intended receiver, goes behind him. Of course, Jackson State Tigers, located in Jackson, Mississippi. They're in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The school was founded back in 1877. Over 6,000 students enrolled in the university. Of course, some great alumni, 3 members in the NFL Hall of Fame, and we'll talk about them as we go through this game. 3rd down now, facing Jackson State. Trey Rutland. He wants to take off and run now. Buy some time, has a man in the end zone. Touchdown, Jackson State. Jackson State with the touchdown reception. Rodney Gray on the catch to junior from Batesville, Mississippi, 31 yards.
Rodney Gray got the touchdown. He gets handshakes from his teammates, but Trey Rutland, I thought he was leaving the pocket too soon here, looking to run for the first down, keeps his vision downfield, and you see Gray break open late on that corner route towards the back of the end zone, and Rutland threw the ball right on the money. Touchdown, Jackson State.
Eric Perry on to attempt the PAT, only missed 2 all of last year, rated out at 94%. To make it a 7-0 ball game, and it's through the uprights. 7:48 the time remaining here in the first quarter, and Jackson State has drawn first blood in this 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Trey Rutland, the touchdown pass to Rodney Gray. Young swimmers. He also announced he'll train for the 2012 Summer Olympics and try to add to his 14 career gold medals. What a feat he had, and what a time he had in Beijing.
Yeah, Aquaman did a great job, but let's take a look here. Rodney Gray, you're going to see him right here in the slot receiver. What he's going to do, how did he get so wide open? As the play started to break down, Gray just kept his eye on the quarterback, and the next thing you know, once he sees Rutland lead, watch him shoot up there, get to that back corner of the end zone, and Rutland throws the ball right on the money for a touchdown for the Tigers. That's how you draw it up. When your quarterback's in trouble, go towards the sideline. Rodney Gray did a good job of doing as he was coached.
Rodney Gray, one of those young men who's like down on the depth chart, not one of those guys who you were expecting to see a whole lot. Well, knowing James Woody, you're going to see a whole lot of receivers.
They use so many. I mean, you know, they've got 4 on the depth chart that start, and they've got another 4 to back those guys up, so it's wide receiver by committee.
Short kick. Hampton University falls on it right in front of the Jackson State bench. And there's a mad scramble over there, but I believe Hampton will retain possession of the football. And coming up with it was Brandon Roundtree, the linebacker, who's, like I said, a short kick. And they have the ball in fairly good field position right now at their own 37-yard line. It's their second offensive possession of the day. Their first started with a great kickoff return of 51 yards by Teal, but they were unable to capitalize on it. So let's see if they can do anything today with this second possession at their own 38-yard line. Coker in motion. Hand to Coker. And Coker finding the going very rough for him. You know, he's quite a story. We're talking about the young man who came out of Tennessee. He led the Southeast Conference in rushing his freshman year back in 2006 with 696 yards, and he managed to get into the end zone 6 times for Phil Fulmer, but played just 7 games last year, had 169 yards and 2 touchdowns, and was suspended from the school. And finally talked to him the other day. I said, what happened between you and coach? He says, it was me. He says, I was very immature. He said, I've learned a lot from my mistakes, and hopefully I've grown up. Second down. Coming to the near side, trying to keep it on the ground with Gilchrist on the carry. He gains maybe a yard.
One of the things that I talked to offensive line coach Terry Buford about was, how do you have the ability to run the football from that shotgun formation? And he said, we do a lot of zone blocking. We think we've got some ways where we can still get a lead blocker in there. But one of the things that I argue is, I don't think 1,000-yard rushers go well with spread offenses. It's just so hard to run the ball from that shotgun. And the defense, the linebackers can keep their eyes on the football at all times. So there's no deception there with the quarterback turning his back to the defense. And right now, Hampton has not shown the ability to run the football.
And that's something they know that they're going to have to do in order to be successful. Empty backfield on third down. Vine stands in there, has a little time now, a little short pass that has turned into a first down on the run after catch by Kevin Teal. He made that happen, and they're across midfield once again at the 49-yard line after an 11-yard gain.
Did a great job of protecting by the offensive line right there for Hampton. And you'll see, one thing I like about Teal, once he makes that catch, he turns around immediately and gets vertically up the field to pick up that first down. Talk about these guys, Kevin Teal and Jeremy Gilchrist, 5'9", both of them. One weighs $174, other one weighs $168.
And that's being generous. This time on the carry, a flag is down. First penalty marker of the ball game. Dennis Mathis on the carry, probably going to see a hold against Hampton University. Our officials, George McCullum is our referee. This is a Southwestern Athletic Conference crew, even though the MEAC is the home team. Let's listen to George.
On the offense, number 77, replay first down, 10-yard penalty.
Well, Gillette presents Kickoff Week. Continues Labor Day on ESPN as Arian Foster, the 18th ranked Vols of Tennessee, take on Khalil Bell and the Bruins of UCLA. That comes your way tomorrow night. College football primetime presented by Jack Links as part of College Kickoff Week presented by Gillette on ESPN Monday night, September 1st at 8 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Along with Jay Walker, Charlie Neal, along with Clint Kesnick, who's down on the sideline. And he's enjoying the festivities here also in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl. Last season, Hampton University was plagued by penalties, and they don't want to start that off this year. Their first penalty of the ball game after a first down, and that was on a first down play, 1st and 20. And we talk about Rick Neuheisel, you know, and talking about UCLA and what happened with him. He coached at the Baltimore Ravens, Washington head coach, won the 2000 Rose Bowl. He was a quarterback and was the MVP of the 1984 Rose Bowl.
Gritty quarterback, overachieving type quarterback, as demonstrated by the success he had in winning the Rose Bowl. And it's always good to go home. Homeboy going home, Neuheisel, they're loving him in Westwood. I can guarantee that. Oh!
Boy, you're talking about decapitating somebody. That was Sam Washington. Sam Washington out of Holmes County, Mississippi. They call him V12. He looked like a V24 on that one, didn't he?
He did, and that must be a breakdown in the protection. You don't let a defensive line right here just go unblocked and get a free hit on your running back. What are you doing over there on that left side of the line for the Hampton Pirates? And you're Dennis Mathis. You got to talk to your guys and say, fellas, what's up?
V12's in a what, a Maserati?
Well, you're the car guy. I trust your expertise on that. I don't go above a V8.
The play was on. Personal foul. 19, blue. Personal foul. 19, 14, white. Penalty was offset. Third down.
Third down now. Ryan Rich and Jeremy Gilchrist got a little extracurricular activities after the play was over. So it's still third down and a lot of real estate to go for Hampton University. They'll call it 3rd and 22 right now. But I'll tell you, Sam Washington came with a vengeance that time, didn't he?
He's a ball player, and he's got a great motor. Here he comes again.
They get it open. Overthrown. Wide open down the middle of the field was Kevin Teal, and you can see the frustration on his face. He was in first down territory, but the ball was way over his head.
Yeah, 2 consecutive throws where Bynes has not been able to hit a wide open wide receiver. I mean, that's plenty of space to get a football in there for the first down, and it's so difficult to pick up 3rd and plus 15. But you see these wide receivers have the talent to find the soft spot in the zone. Bynes has to settle down and start hitting the wide open receiver.
Second punt of the afternoon for Jamal Blanchard. First one was only 27 yards. This one a lot better. And it dies and is picked up. I thought it was going to die right at the 10-yard line by Carlos Simpson. He was going to take a chance. That was a 55-yard punt that time. Maybe about a 3-yard return, and we'll be back to Orlando in just a moment.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
You see, we're on course, on track.
Before I got my electronics business underway, I got these underway. Bridge, this is making.
The MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by Disney Parks, where dreams come true. And in part by Navy.
This is the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge presented by Disney, and we're at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida for this 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Jackson State on top 7-0 along with Jay Walker and Quint Kesnick down on the sideline. I'm Charlie Neal. Glad you could spend some of your Labor Day weekend with us in this battle. Jackson State, their first possession, went all the way. This is their second possession of the day. Here's Carlos Simpson in motion. Hand off to Dorzon, trying to bounce to the outside. Loses a couple of yards on the play. Who's got the advantage in this particular contest, Jay?
Now, let's make sure we're clarifying. These are not predictions who's going to win this game. We're talking about who has the advantage. Jackson State, just because of the tenure of Comagese, he's been there 2 years longer. Although Holmes, this is in his first game as a head coach, give it to Jackson State. The offensive line, Hampton, I mean, even though Bynes is not playing well, he's got plenty of time, and that offensive line is proven and tested. D-line's a toss-up. They both lost too much. You can't judge them. Secondary, Jackson State's got one of the premier secondaries in the country. Special teams and skill positions, I think the Pirates have that, and they've demonstrated that well. But right now, Jackson State still leading this game.
And the pass is intercepted, should have been on the far side, in and out of the hands of Jackie Bates. He had it and was going for 6, but just couldn't hold on.
Come on, Jackie Bates, you got to make that play. You're my impact player this game. You've got a chance to get your team the lead, make the catch, run into it for a touchdown. This is a gimme. You don't get too many gifts like that, and he missed his opportunity because Santa Claus delivered the present right in his bread basket.
Very early, too. Last day of August.
And that's one of those performances, one of those plays you have to have. Impact players make impact plays. That could have been a pick 6 to tie up this ball game.
Just 2 games, junior year at Oregon for Jackie Bates.
I love that call.
The quarterback keeping it.
I love that call. Anytime a quarterback almost throws an interception, it can be 3rd and 6. The offensive coordinator is going to run the ball next time it comes out. 3rd and 12, you could have picked up that first down, possibly throwing the ball, but Woody got the warning and said, hey, it's time to run the ball. Let me settle my quarterback down.
Bennett is the punter. Junior out of Pensacola, Florida. 8th in the conference in punting a year ago. And it is fielded right at about the 48-yard line by Gilchrist. Comes to the near side and is bounced out of bounds in front of his own bench. An 11-yard return after a 36-yard punt. And there's a timeout on the field. 7-0 our score. Hampton University trying to get something going.
Make a U-turn as soon as possible. Make a U-turn as soon as possible.
Okay.
Turn right in 500 feet.
Where are you taking me?
Turn right.
But
Turn
I did make a...
Turn
Okay,
right.
I'm supposed to...
Turn right. Turn right.
Oh, Phillips 66.
Right.
Listen to your car. It'll tell you it wants the hard-working gas from Phillips 66, specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, reduce emissions, and above all, help maximize mileage with every tank. Make your car very happy and help maximize mileage with Phillips 66, hard-working gas.
Monday night, SEC and Pac-10 heavyweights meet as the Vols battle Rick Neuheisel and the Bruins. ESPN College Football Primetime. Fresno State Rutgers at 4. Tennessee UCLA 8 Eastern. Part of ESPN Kickoff Week presented by Gillette. College football lives here.
Over there.
Friday night, the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff banquet held at Lights Motor Action. The banquet spotlighted Jackson State and Hampton players and coaches participating in the 4th annual challenge. ESPN anchor Jay Harris served as the MC of the event. Former Grambling State head coach and quarterback Doug Williams was the banquet's keynote speaker, and Jackson State linebacker Marcus Smith and Hampton wide receiver Kevin Teal each received the inaugural Walter Payton Achievement Award, recognizing high achievers in the classroom and on the football field. Congratulations to both of those young men who are playing here this afternoon. And it's 7-0 our score. Jackson State with the ball. Second time that Hampton University, Jay, has started in Jackson State territory. Let's see if they can capitalize this time around. And this is a handoff to Mathis, who stumbles for 2 yards. Now let's go down to the sideline. Quint Kesnick is standing by with Jared Payton, Walter's son.
Yes, he's in town to present the Walter Payton Achievement Award. At the banquet the other night, they ran some highlights of your dad, and it occurred to me none of these players have ever seen him play. What do you hope they understand about the way he played?
Well, that my dad was what this game was all about, and that's about hard work, determination, and never giving up. And, you know, watching those highlights, they can learn a lot from a man, and not being able to see him play, but to know that he was out there giving it his all. And, you know, that was one thing that my dad said always. You play with your heart, and you play because you love the game. And, you know, these guys are getting an opportunity to do that today.
First year of this award. Why is this award so important to you and your family?
Because it just shows, you know, the achievement. You know, these kids are out here trying to play their heart out, and have an opportunity to give back to the community, and also to give back to their team and to the universities is what they're doing, and that's what my dad was all about.
You had the opportunity to talk to these student athletes. What did you emphasize?
I told them that if you work hard, anything is possible. Doesn't matter if you go to the University of Miami, you go to Jackson State, or you go to Hampton. If you can play, they'll find you, and if this is something that you want to do, you know, the NFL teams will find you. But also, it's giving you an opportunity to see what teamwork's all about, because if you decide to go into the business world, you need that too.
Jared, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Charlie.
Thank you. Quite a young man, Jared himself in his own right. Had some pro football experience as you look at Kevin Teal breaking tackles and getting the first down to the 26-yard line, a gain of 11 yards before Kerry Hoskins made the stop defensively. You talk about sweetness. He played at Jackson State from 71 to 74, over 3,500 career rushing yards, 5th all-time in the SWAC. 66 career rushing touchdowns, SWAC all-time record, and one of 3 Jackson State alums in the NFL Pro Football Hall of Fame, I should say. Here's a little dance to the outside by Coker, and Coker is down to the 15-yard line.
Coker's running real hard like Walter Payton used to. Hit the hole hard, get the yards after the initial contact. And you talk about Walter Payton, I mean, wow, we know you talked about the numbers he put up at Jackson State. and also did this stuff in the NFL. And I think watching Sweetness was it was a privilege to have the ability to watch him carry the football, but more importantly, the great job he did with his son, Jerry. I mean, that was a well-spoken young man, and you can never name enough awards after Walter Payton.
Here's Coker again, breaking tap, fumbles the ball, and now it's in the hands of Jackson State. Finally picked up by Jackson State. I believe it was Sam Washington, or caused the fumble. Sam Washington made the hit that caused the fumble. Let's see what happens here.
Talk about the tough running. You see LaMarcus Coker there trying to get that extra yard, but a helmet on the football. Sam Washington with a good hit, and all of a sudden the fumble, and Marcus Bernard was fortunate enough to fall on the fumble and just took all the momentum that Hampton had. This is just a solid hit. I mean, he's got the ball in a protected position, but if you get a helmet on the football, it's going to come out at 90% of the time, and that's what happened. Good pop there. Jackson State fighting off the Pirates.
So the first turnover of the ball game goes in favor of Jackson State with 1:10 left here in the first quarter. 7-0. Jackson with the ball and the ball first down and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Rutland has it complete on the near sideline. The man with the touchdown already is running with reckless abandon, and that is Rodney Gray.
I mean, you talk about a difference of two quarterbacks. Look at Trey Rutland in the pocket, nice calm, curl flat combination, hit Gray right between the 8 and the 4, and Gray is feeling it in this game here today. He's already caught a touchdown. Now he's showing you he can run after the catch as well.
From the shotgun again, Trey Rutland works on first down and 10. The ball across midfield in the Hampton University territory. And now Dorzan caught in the backfield, dropped for a loss. And coming up with the stop is Kendrick Ellis. Kendrick Ellis, the sophomore out of West Palm Beach. And tonight the race for the Cup continues on ESPN as the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Pepsi 500 is in California. Coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. And of course, we know about Kyle Busch and Carl Edwards. They seem to be battling each other. Both drivers, though, on probation for the next 6 races starting tonight. They had a little altercation at Bristol a week ago. Now a timeout. Boy, that's going to be the end of the first quarter. 7-0 is our score. Jackson State, the Sonic Boom of the South. Hampton University, the Forces in the house. And we'll be back with more from the 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge from Orlando in the Citrus Bowl in just a moment.
E6.
Jay, I can't wait to get you on another ride.
Oh, man, that's no problem. Piece of cake. The faster, the better for me.
I know. You were screaming like I don't know what the other night. We'll get a chance to see that. Here's Rutland over the top. Too high for Carlos Simpson down at the 30-yard line. He was the intended receiver. And that'll bring up a 3rd down situation. Jeff Martin covering downfield.
And one of the problems you have when you've got small wide receivers running down the middle of the field, you got to make a perfect throw in there. Simpson's 5'9", 200 pounds. He doesn't have the ability to go up and catch that ball. It's a good effort, but very difficult throw when you've got a short guy running down the middle seam of a cover 2 defense. It's got to be a perfect pass.
Well, Good and Martin were underneath, and I think he was trying to get the ball over top of those linebackers down there. 3rd down and long right now. 3rd and 15. And nothing doing that time. That looked like a horse collar, but it's within a certain area. Now, normally, if that had been downfield somewhere, that would have been a penalty. With the new rule that they have in place in college football this year is Kendrick Ellis. There he is, number 97, sophomore out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
This looks like a jailbreak to me. Look how many guys beat their man off the ball. 1, 2, 3 Pirates, and you see Ellis there reach up and grab him within the tackle box, so he's allowed to do it. Pull him down there. And, I mean, Rutland's a big, strong kid. Both these quarterbacks go 6'3", 230 plus. Wow, and they're sophomores.
punt. Here's Gilchrist on the return. And Gilchrist is brought down after he crosses the 25 to about the 28-yard line. A 34-yard punt and an 8-yard return. Well, the teams had a chance to enjoy some of Walt Disney World Resort. Friday night, Jackson State and Hampton players got a chance to take on the Tower of Terror at the Rock and Roll and the Rock and Roller Coaster. Let's see how they did. Jay and I also went with them. We survived. Some of them are coming off. It's wonder they're playing well today, huh? Watch it. Look at this one.
Good thing that they had 2 days before. This took place Friday night. Had there been a game the next day, they would have been a little woozy.
Well, and coaches probably would have allowed them to do this. Here's Carlos Simpson getting off the. Not Carlos Simpson, correction there. Carlos Simpson was also on there, but that was Hampton University players that you saw just getting off.
And that's what this whole atmosphere is about. When I first went to the banquet, I said this is a bowl environment.
It certainly is, and Disney did a great job making sure it happened. Here's Coker trying to go to the right side, bounces it back to the near side, but has nowhere to run. Maybe a yard gain, and that is it on the play. Palmer was right there defensively for Jackson State to make sure that he didn't get anything going. Number 26.
And that's how you play that outside force position. Beat your man upfield. Force the running back to cut back to where the rest of the teammates are. And impressive job of running by LaMarcus Coker. And I also like the job that Palmer did in terms of knowing your assignment, making the running back go into a headache by cutting back against the grain.
Talking about Palmer, he's a junior out of Otaugaville, Alabama.
What's it called again?
Otaugaville.
Okay.
Preseason first team all SWAC selection, a mass communications major. Right now, though, third down facing Hampton. Bynes throws this one in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Justin Brown.
That's the same throw we just saw Rutland complete with ease. Bynes call, curl route, wide open. He gets the ball to him late. Look at the wide receiver. Once he plants, ball should be there. Look at this ball hang in the air, give two defenders an opportunity to react to the football, get their hand in there. And a curl route is nothing but a timing route. As soon as that receiver turns his head, that ball should be splitting them right between the numbers. But Bynes doesn't have the timing in this game, and he's been very inaccurate and late at times, and that's why this passing game is struggling.
Third punt of the afternoon for Hampton University. Carlos Simpson on the return, and Carlos Simpson is down at the 34-yard line after a 47-yard punt and a 10-yard return. And when we return, we talked about Doug Williams coming in and speaking to the young men on Friday night. Well, he'll join us on the phone from Tampa in just a moment. Many know this young man. Doug Williams played at Grambling from 74 to 77. Over 8,000 yards in passing and 93 touchdowns. Over 3,200 yards in 1977 and 38 touchdowns. And he was the head coach at Grambling from 98 to 03 with a 52-18 record. And he'll be joining us as soon as this play is over. 7-0 is our score here. Jackson State with the ball. For the fifth time this afternoon, they scored on their opening possession, going 89 yards on 9 plays, but it's been all punting ever since. And now we're going to get their first penalty against Jackson State today, and it's a false start on the tight end, Marcel Frost. And Doug joins us on the phone. Doug, welcome.
I'm glad to be here. I wish I was there at the stadium.
I know. We're talking about first-year head coach and Jerry Holmes replacing a legend in Joe Taylor. You replaced the legend in Eddie Robinson. What's going through Jerry Holmes' mind today as you can go back to your first game as a college head coach?
I don't know, but after hearing him Friday night guarantee a victory, I know what it is to say like that.
He certainly did do that. We'll come back after this play. Here's a pitch, and another flag goes down as they try to come to the near sideline.
When when you talk about some of the things, Doug, you're one of the legends of the Black College and also a pioneer. What are some of the things that stand out in your recollection from your days as a player as well as a coach at your alma mater, Grambling State University?
Well, you know, number one, like a day like today, playing in front of national audience, 90 million people viewing. You know, I can remember playing in the Bayou Classic in front of 80,000 in New Orleans in '74. That's something that you remember for the rest of your life. And it's such a family atmosphere. Basically, that's what this is. And to see this on television, for me, it makes my heart warm just to watch these guys play.
Well, Doug, we thank you so much. I know you're busy as a personnel executive with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You've been busy the last couple of days, of course, having to cut that roster down to what, 53?
53.
All right, well.
First time of the year.
I know it is. Well, thank you so much, and good luck to you and the Tampa Bay Bucs throughout the upcoming season.
You and Jay keep doing what y'all doing.
All right, Grim Reaper.
First down and 10. Make that first down in a lot of yards. First and 20. And loss on the play as Charles Young was there to make the stop. But we're talking about Doug Williams, some of the numbers, and I mentioned some of them earlier. Of course, he was the Super Bowl MVP when they beat the Denver Broncos when he was a member of the Washington Redskins, and I think it did a lot of people good to see that happen.
Oh, definitely. And I remember being in high school, and that was definitely my role model, telling me, hey, anything is possible. And one thing's missing off that stat sheet, he was also the first-round pick. First African-American first-round pick as a quarterback by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now he's the Grim Reaper. That's NFL lingo in terms of the cut man.
The cut man. Bring your playbook, right? Rutland was sandwiched just as he let that one go. And there was Charles Young. He's the young man that's replacing Kendall Langford, who is now a member of the Miami Dolphins, who was wreaking havoc from that position a year ago for Hampton.
And, you know, they just keep reloading when it comes to these defensive linemen. They had Kendall Langford last year and Marcus Dixon last year. And this year's version is Kendrick Ellis and Charles Young. So one thing about Hampton is this game's going on. If you're Jackson State, you got to be concerned because you're only winning 7-0. And if you're Hampton, they're slowly starting to take over momentum of this game. They're starting to prove
field position
that they're stronger, they're bigger, they're faster, and it's just a matter of time before they put some points on the board. So I think right now what you're starting to see is the more physical team seems to be Hampton University, and the more finesse team looks like it's Jackson State relying upon big plays.
Well, let's check out some college football headlines from the first big weekend of college football around the country today. Of course, Georgia beat Southern. There's number 5 Florida. They rolled Tim Tebow, the Heisman Trophy candidate from a winner, I should say, from a year ago. Ohio State wins, but they get a big scare when Chris Wells goes down. Beanie Wells, their Heisman candidate at running back. The Dogs cruise number 1. Upsets from around the nation. Virginia Tech, Michigan, and Clemson lose. What do you think?
Same thing to make you laugh or make you cry. Frank Beamer for years was beating everybody with special teams. He gets his pump block and they get upset, and that's why college football is one of those games where year to year it changes and you never know who's going to rise to the top.
I'll tell you who really looked good yesterday was Mark Sanchez from Southern Cal.
Oh man, Sanchez and Macklin. What about Macklin over Missouri? I mean, he got it done as a wide receiver, and then on the returns. I mean, this Heisman race is going to be interesting, but you know, I'm old school. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. And Tim Tebow is still the man. Woo! Little Flair style. Woo!
It is third down on a lot of real estate. This drive started at their own 34-yard line, and Jackson State has been pushed back, so they're going to have to punt it for the 4th straight time.
Like we talked about, slowly but surely, this Hampton Pirate defense is starting to find a way to manhandle Jackson State, has them moving backwards. Now, if the offense can just match the defensive intensity, we could have a great ball game here.
Well, we'll see if Hampton can take advantage of the short field that they've given Jackson State. And back Jackson State up. Remember, I said that drive started at their own 34-yard line. They're punting from their own 25. Good punt by Jackson State's Brett Bennett. And it is going to go out of bounds right at about the 24-yard line. Tom Joyner's in town. He had the family reunion weekend, and he's going to join us when we come back.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
See, we're on course, on track.
MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by Disney Parks. Brought to you by Lexus, who invites you to the event, the Lexus Summer Sales Event, now through September 2nd.
10:32, the time remaining here in the first half of play. 7-0, Jackson State on top. Hampton now with the ball, first down and 10 at their own 24-yard line, and they're trying to get something going. They had a short field, but a great kick there by Jackson State has pinned them a little deep in their own territory. Now let's see if now we're going to have a delay of game penalty on Hampton University. And again, that 40-second play clock, these young quarterbacks and inexperienced quarterbacks don't have that clock going off in the, well, they said it's a false start. So that's just as bad, right?
Yeah, it looked like a delay of game, and you would think that's unexcusable if it's delay of game coming out of a timeout. But right now, teams on their heels, they just haven't found the rhythm, and that's been the story for Hampton this whole first quarter. No rhythm.
First and 15. This is the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge. The MEAC has a 2-1 lead in this series. Here's Bynes going to the air. Has a man out there. Incomplete. Incomplete. And Tom Joyner joins us here in the booth right now. Tom's in town for the family reunion weekend. It's always good seeing you. And one of the things that we were thinking about and talking about, and I think it's in the works, is that next year you can tie this game into your family reunion weekend and make it part of the package.
Yeah, the family reunion draws about 10,000 people here to the Orlando area. We take over Orlando and all the theme parks. And for 4 days, all of our families are here. And you're here with the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Why not? We are all here for a common purpose and a good party.
I'm sure it is a good party, Jay.
You mentioned the word that you take over the theme park. So one thing you've done is taken over in terms of giving back to historically black colleges and universities with all the great work that you do.
That's a passion. That's a passion. I'm a product of the HBCU system. I'm from Tuskegee. My parents, both parents went to black colleges, grandparents. Historically black colleges are just in my DNA. And the Tom Joyner Foundation helps students stay in school at black colleges. Since '98, we've raised more than $55 million to that end.
And it's continuing to grow and grow and grow. And of course, being a part, like I said, of the MEAC SWAC Challenge is something that could even make it even better.
Yeah. We should come together.
Now, I know that you're a Tuskegee man, but one thing that happened is you lost your coach, Tommy G's.
He's down here
wearing Jackson State colors. How's that make you feel?
You know what? My brother had something to do with that, who's also a Tuskegee grad and now owns every McDonald's in Jackson. And when he moved to Jackson, mysteriously, the coach from Tuskegee moved to Jackson.
But I'll tell you, they really don't have anything to be worried about because they still were the black national champions a year ago and the preseason pick to repeat.
You can't stop Tuskegee.
No, you can't.
Can't stop Tuskegee.
But you know this game
the Tuskegee Airmen, from the Commodores and on. You can't stop since Booker T and George Washington Carver. You can't stop Tuskegee.
Now, now, I got to tease you now. You know, I'm a Howard man. I always say it Howard.
Oh, the other HU.
No, there's only one HU. There's only one HU, but we are America's black college. See, we're America's black college. You're making it sound like Tuskegee's America's black college.
You know what's interesting? The head of the foundation is my son from the inception in 1998. Our first school of the month, you would think it would be Tuskegee. Howard.
You got to start
He's a Howard grad.
Hey, you know, Tom, this game is more than just football.
Yeah.
The kids got a chance to enjoy some of the activities at the Disney's theme park. You've got the Battle of the Bands coming up at halftime. Anytime you go to an HBCU game, you've got to stay and see the game, the bands at halftime, right?
It's more than a game. It's more than a halftime. It's a homecoming. It's networking. It's recruitment. It's reaching. I know you've had a great program going out to the high schools in the Orlando area. I was talking with one of the principals about how you came into the schools to encourage students to go to college, especially black colleges. So it's a great thing. All of these HBCU classics are just alike when it comes to empowering and networking and homecoming for our community.
Well, Tom, it's always great seeing you. You do such a great job in terms of the HBCUs and your daily radio program and raising money to make sure that the education for young African Americans or students at HBCUs can continue.
Yeah, you know, we always say it's one thing to go to school, it's another thing to stay in school. And so we're there for the broke student.
Let me put you on the spot. Let me put you on the spot. Where's your favorite homecoming?
My favorite homecoming?
Go to.
Man, that is I've been to Southern's homecoming. I've been to North Carolina A&T's homecoming. I've been to Florida A&M's homecoming. I don't know, man. That's a tough question.
Hey, that's hard to beat. I don't care where you go. No matter where you go, it's going to be a time.
Yes. I've been to a lot of HBCU homecomings, and I've had a ball at all of them.
All right, well, tell your wife, Don, I said hello, and thank you very much.
She's right down the hall.
All
you know,
right.
I'm going to steal a cookie while she's not around.
You don't need that.
I know I don't. One thing when you come to an ESPN booth or a sports booth, there's always nice catering.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. We're going to get back to the game here. Hampton University trying to move the ball and trying to get something going. Here they're trailing in the ball game by a score of 7-0. Now,
if I was a coach for Hampton, I'd make sure that Tom Joyner didn't leave the booth. They finally started moving the ball when he came along, and the quarterback looked like he knew how to complete passes once again.
He certainly did.
They seem to have a little bit of rhythm, and now it's a matter of they've crossed midfield before. Can they put points on the board to go along with the offensive production that they've gotten thus far?
And then this drive, Justin Brown has made a couple of key catches. There he is. You just saw a shot of him. And it's a second down facing, and we got a movement on the offensive line, so we're going to have a penalty. And we're going to add a false start against Hampton University. 7:02 is the time remaining here in the second quarter, along with Jay Walker and Quint Kesnick. I'm Charlie Neal, and we're glad you could be part of this weekend at the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge.
False start, number 62, on the offense, 5-yard thing.
George McCullum, our referee.
And I'm starting to get the feeling that both teams have settled down, found their groove and rhythm, and are going to play to their strength. And we're going to have a great contest from the rest of the afternoon. I just got that feeling, and it's going to be a shootout because both these teams like to throw the football. It's just a matter of who's going to come up with the next big play to tie it up the contest if Hampton can do it.
Here's Bynes. Seemingly he got his feet up under him. This one intended again for Justin Brown, who seems to be his favorite receiver this afternoon, but that one just a little high. Just a little bit too high. So third down and 10.
You know, when you look at Bynes, it looks like he's looking at the rush. And then by the time he comes there, he doesn't lead the wide receiver. That forces him to stop and jump for this ball. Had he thrown that ball in stride, that could have been a big play for Justin Brown. But one thing that you get when you get nervous quarterbacks, the first thing that seems to go is accuracy. And Bynes has been highly inaccurate this first half. He's got to make that pass.
And, you know, the thing you got to remember again is both of these quarterbacks are only making their second career start. So this is a big stage for this young man. He has a man open, but he overthrows him. Wide open downfield is Kevin Teal, and he would have easily walked into the end zone, but the ball was overthrown.
Right now, Herbert Bynes couldn't hit Disney World. And Disney World is huge. I mean, this place is huge down here, and he couldn't hit it. You've got your fastest, one of your fastest guys. That is the fastest guy there. When you talk about Teal, sprinting down the middle of the field, defender beat by 5 yards, put some air on the ball, let him run underneath it, tie this ball game up.
And a punt again for Hampton University's Jamal Blanchard. And a fumble. And it's going to be Jackson State's ball. Simpson was hit, fumbled at about the 12, but the ball rolled out of bounds before it was recovered by Hampton University. That would have been a big break for Hampton, and they've been able to come up with that one. Right now, Jackson State with a 7-0 lead, 6:26 left, second quarter, and they'll get the ball. Some of those things are scary, aren't they?
I would say so. You know, you're Mr. Cool. Nothing rattles you.
Yeah, we were riding the other night. Jay was screaming, and I was laughing.
Hey, easy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Football player here. All right, TV guy. I'm a ball player. I got a rep to protect.
Jackson State, 89 yards on the opening drive, 110 total. You see, they've been a little lethargic since then as Trey Rutland tries to go to the left side, and he has nowhere to run. He is wrapped up on the far side over there by James Ingram, number 92.
And part of the reason is this defensive front four for Hampton is just dominating the line of scrimmage. Take a look here at how many holes Rutland is looking for. Nothing there. Let me go here. Nothing there. Let me cut back. And anytime you get defensive linemen making tackles, that's a defensive coordinator's dream. That means you have controlled the line of scrimmage, and now the team is basically forced to throw the football.
And you saw number 99 there. Also, Chris Baker, young man who transferred from Penn State, was on the Penn State squad until July and was released by Joe Paterno in the squad, but he's something to be reckoned with defensively as Carlos Simpson gets the first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line, a gain of 13 yards on the play. Before Jonathan Wade made the stop, number 24 defensively.
That's a great call by James Wood. He realizes we're going to have trouble running the football. Well, let's go to the passing game, and we don't have to go vertically. Let's just hit some curl combinations, which Hampton has been giving them all day long, and Rutland's been able to step up in the pocket and complete the curl route.
So a first down and 10, the ball out to the 32-yard line for Jackson State. Here's Rutland. And he takes off and runs. And he is hit pretty good down at about the 40-yard line. And that was Rasul Wilson who came up to make the stop, number 25. And don't forget, Gillette presents Kickoff Week continues. Labor Day on ESPN. Arian Foster and the 18th ranked Tennessee Vols take on Khalil Bell and the UCLA Bruins tomorrow night. College football primetime is presented by Jack Links and presented by Gillette on ESPN Monday night, September 1st. And there's Rutland sliding for a first down to midfield.
Carries the ball close to midfield.
Talking about Tennessee and UCLA. Rick Neuheisel taking over the Bruins and the tail of the tape, head-to-head wins. Tennessee 7-4 all-time wins. 771 wins for Tennessee. Conference titles. UCLA has won more, 17-16. First down and 10. Rutland wants to go to the air. Has a man out there, but they're going to call that face guarding. Do you like that call?
I mean, no way the ball was catchable, period.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, do you like that call?
He was in his face.
Yeah, I mean, do you like that call? I don't like that call.
You know, and as a defensive back, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be in the guy's face anyway. He didn't put his hands up to this block. You know what I mean? That call there, you like to see everybody come in there and pick up that flag and say, hey, no way he's going to catch that ball.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 31.
Yeah, I don't like it. Tobin Lyon is guilty. It's a 15-yard penalty. So that moves the ball down to the 35-yard line.
Look, what'd he do? He turned around and looked for the football there, clearly.
Like you said, the ball's uncatchable.
Wow, you hate to see a bad call possibly change momentum of a game. That drive was just about done, and now fresh set of downs and 15 yards of field position.
SWAC officiating crew.
You said it, not me.
Dorzon stopped in the backfield. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide that time. As Jeff Martin was there, number 56, to make the stop. Transfer out of Southwest Mississippi Community College. He is a Florida product from Miami, and Dorzon lifts off.
Yeah, you see there, this is one of those stunts they do when they loop around the linebacker Martin. Defensive lineman slide to the outside. He fills that A-gap effectively for a loss on the running game. That's how you play stunt, run, blitz defense.
Rutland on second down. Lets it go. Wide open to Simpson. Simpson first down to the 20. Carlos Simpson on the reception. Gain of 19 on the play. Jonathan Wade had to make the stop.
One of the things that Rutland's able to do is stand tall in the pocket. And you see Simpson with a delayed route across the middle of the defense, and he's not afraid to go in there and mix it up, and Rutland just gives him a nice catchable ball, and that's been their most effective play thus far. A little simple curl combinations right over the middle of the field. Easy throws, but they're not asking Rutland to make any challenging throws, giving him a game plan that he can manage. And give credit to offensive coordinator James Woody, the former quarterback himself, of settling his quarterback down.
And Rutland bouncing to the outside, gets a good peel back block, and then finally runs out of bounds, and a flag is coming in late on the play inside the 20-yard line.
And another one came in there late. Two flags came in late.
Rutland has 22 yards on 6 catches. They're going to call a personal foul against Jackson State. Remember, they scored on their opening drive, in case you just joined us. Rutland drove them 89 yards, rather, on 9 plays and culminated it with a 32-yard.
Number 88 on the offense. 10 yards in. Replay it down.
Culminated it with a 32-yard touchdown pass to Gray. Point after was good, 7-0, and then they punted 5 straight times. This is the best drive they've had since then, as this drive started at their own 19-yard line.
You see that? I mean, 2 officials right there. You can see that blocking in the back, and that's very dangerous. They have to call that every time.
So it is first down, first after the penalty, and they try to keep it on the ground and run straight ahead once again, but not much doing this time. Carrying the ball for Jackson State is Mosley, who was actually the backup quarterback. He's a young man who transferred in from Louisiana Tech. So they've got him running a little bit of everything right now.
Well, one of the things that Coach Gregory Ruffin on Jackson State's squad does is he recruits very effectively from other colleges. And I think if you're going to play FCS football, you have to have the ability to recruit kids from other colleges. And Mosley's an athlete, and they said he's going to get some snaps.
And he's in there already. Yeah. This is on second down. Mosley looking right. Pump fakes. A little flag is down. He has it complete. And running. And it's caught by Andre Otero, a backup tight end. And let's see what the penalty marker is about. Holding is going to be the call against Jackson State. That's the preliminary indication. So, Michael Mosley, Rutland on the sideline.
Holding on the offense. Number 8, 10 yards from the previous spot. We played it down.
Rutland came in from Mississippi State. Mosley comes in from Louisiana Tech.
And it's not bad play while Rutland's out the game. We asked Coach Comergy, is Mosley going to play? And they said he's going to play, regardless of how well that Rutland is doing. We've got to see how Mosley plays in a game situation. We talked about it was a close quarterback competition between Rutland and Mosley, so they're not knocking Rutland. He's got good numbers. It's just a matter of they want to give Michael Mosley a chance to play in the game to see what he can do.
With under 2 minutes to go in the half. Second down and 27. He lets it go, has it complete, and it's separated from the ball was Marcel Frost, the transfer out of Ohio State, who couldn't hold on. He had it in his hands, got a good shot, and then as he was going down, let the ball go. Brings up a 3rd and 27.
And Mosley's got to get this ball down, but you throw it high to a high target. And looks like he had control of that ball till his helmet hit the turf, and he lost control of it. And you see Jonathan Wade come over and put a good knocking on him. But look how Mosley stands tall in the pocket and still delivers a catchable pass there in the face of the defensive pressure. That's tough to teach.
Geraldo Powell was the man putting the pressure on him, number 35. Here's a pass wide open. Simpson just a little bit too big for him. And I think Simpson may have short armed that too a little bit. He saw some blue jerseys coming over.
That'll happen, especially when you see a 6'5" tight end get knocked out on the play before. But one thing I like what Mosley's doing, he's an aggressive passer. You know, he's not settling for what the defense is giving him. He's got the ability to sling that ball in there, and he attacks the defense rather than settle on what the defense is allowing him to do. And kind of reminds me of that Brett Favre mentality. Go ahead and take a couple things from the defense to keep them on their heels. And he's impressive. I see why it was a close competition, because that play right there was just an inch off of being another touchdown for Jackson State.
So Jackson State has used another timeout here, and they have no more left. That's all 3 in the first half. Hampton has all 3 of theirs remaining with a minute 24 remaining in the first half. And don't forget tonight, the race for the cup continues on ESPN as the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series Pepsi 500 moves out to California. Coverage begins with NASCAR Countdown. It comes your way at 7 Eastern. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. Kyle Busch in that race. He won 8 Sprint Cup races this year, leads the point standings, over 3,600 points. Carl Edwards, a close second, 212 points behind Busch. He has 6 wins under his belt this year. That should be pretty interesting race. And look at the money there.
Man, Jay,
what do you think?
Like my dad used to say, that's some cake right there. I mean, $5 million there, but I think if we put Charlie Neal in that race, as Quint will verify, you could win. You could compete in NASCAR, Charlie.
I may have to get to California tonight. Here's the punt. Fair catch being signaled for and caught by Jeremy Gilchrist right at the 10-yard line. A 27-yard punt. Well, we've got halftime coming up. We've got the Sonic Boom of the South. We've got the Force from Hampton coming your way. When we talk about the top 5 names in terms of bands, what do you like, Jay?
Well, you know, you got to have a name that just stands out and people remember. You know, I want to kind of quiz you here. And this is easy for you. It's going to get tougher, and you've got enough expertise. But I think the #1 name of all time is the Ocean of Soul.
Texas Southern.
And the Sonic Boom of the South
Jackson
is
State.
The Human Jukebox.
Southern University.
Spartan Legion.
Norfolk State.
And the Marching 100 and 101.
Well, you've got Texas. You got Florida A&M
is 100
and South Carolina State.
There you go. So the names behind there.
Here's Teal on the near side, trying to turn it into something. He's up across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and now a 21-yard gain.
Let's see how you did, Charlie. You got them all right. You got them all right, but I got something for you in the second half. But one thing to notice, the Sonic Boom of the South, guess where they are? They're here.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Stomp your feet and close your mouth, because here comes one of the baddest bands in the South.
1 minute to go. And that'll be coming your way at halftime. On the near side, this one is complete. On the near side, one of the favorite receivers for Vines today is Justin Brown, and Brown up with another catch for him.
And that was a perfectly thrown ball there. You saw the defender tried to jump the route, but because the ball was perfectly placed, all he could do was just push him out of bounds.
So it's first down, clock under 45 seconds to go. Vines looking a little better on this drive in terms of passing the ball. And now some time is eaten up on that completion because the receiver couldn't get out of bounds. Kyle Lloyd on the reception, number 80, junior out of Stafford, Virginia.
Hampton University. You know, more importantly, they could have saved the timeout had he just stepped out of bounds, trying to get those extra 2 or 3 yards, step out of bounds. That timeout may become crucial during this drive.
Let's go down to the sideline and join Quint. Quint?
Well, Herbert Vines picked it up there, 3 straight completions. After the last Hampton punt, he walked slowly off the field. The Hampton crowd groaning, starting to really complain about his play. He took a knee, head down, scowl on his face. He sat motionless for about 5 minutes. And 2 receivers came up. Jeremy Gilchrist and Kevin Teal came over and counseled him. And then quarterbacks coach Roy Johnson came over, and they had kind of a pupil coach session, and Johnson's focus was his footwork. It was interesting. They talked about his ball handling and then his footwork, and he seems to have found a rhythm on this drive.
Well, something worked. And that's great information, Quint, because, you know, as Jay had said on the previous drive, he can't even hit Disney World. It's as big as it is.
And a lot of people think when quarterbacks lose their accuracy, it's because their arm, but it's all with the foot, with the footwork. If you don't have good footwork, you can't throw off your back leg. You become inaccurate. That's what the benefit of having a former quarterback as your coach to tell you, get your footwork together.
Vines back to pass, lets it go, and this one is a tie. Let's see if they give it to the receiver or they're going to give an interception. They're going to give it a tie.
It's a tie.
And they're going to give it to the receiver. It looked like it was more intercepted than it was, didn't it?
That was a great job by Jeremy Gilchrist
to
not give up on that play.
He did not give up. But, I mean, if you look at it, I would think that the defensive back had the ball before Jeremy Gilchrist had it.
Oh, there's no doubt. I thought Ryan Rich had this ball. You take a look here, he's got it, but
I don't know. I don't think either one of them went into bounds. That's the thing we have to look at again. Did anybody have possession in the field of play? It was caught out of bounds and was a tie. Yes, it goes to the offensive player. Vines, why are you running?
Can't do that. Got to throw it away.
And, of course, in the FCS, which was formerly 1AA, the football championship subdivision, there is no replay as there is in the Bowls championship subdivision, or Bowl championship series, I should say, the BCS. And so Hampton University uses another timeout with 17 seconds to go. Let's look at this play once again. Were either players in bounds when the ball was actually in possession? I guess they were. 1 foot was down.
That's all you need in college. 1 foot, you know, it looked like Ryan Rich made a great play on that ball, but although you saw Gilchrist was beat, watch him come back for this ball. See, the DB does a good job breaking on the ball. He's got it there, but he still gets that hand around to turn that shoulder to act like he had possession. Now, the only thing I question is, if you're giving 19 credit, he's out of bounds the whole time. See, right there when he gets the ball, it looks like he's almost like he's out of bounds. So it was a bang-bang play with no review, 2-minute situation. You got to make the call quickly, and fortunately for Hampton, they got the benefit of the doubt.
And they have a timeout remaining, but only 17 seconds remaining before intermission. And they have a 2nd down and 12 facing them at the 14-yard line. They keep the ball on the ground. 1 timeout remaining. Maybe they're trying to get it in field goal position for their field goal kicker, who is Teravini, Carlo Teravini. 10 seconds to go. The clock is running. And now,
see, now I wonder why you clock it there in that situation. If you want to call your timeout and call a quick 5-yard play to get out of bounds, okay, but it all goes back to earlier when Bynes got that sack. You had to call a timeout then, and also on that drive, you had Brown catch the ball in bounds and not run out of bounds, try to make a guy miss. So they burned 2 timeouts. They didn't have to. And now you're basically forcing your hand. It's tough to get 2 plays off in 7 seconds like they're going to try and do. And you either got to throw the ball into the end zone. You've got to throw the ball in the end zone.
You definitely can't get sacked. You definitely can't get sacked. 7 seconds remaining. Ball at the 27. Bynes looking. Throws. Incomplete. So that stops the clock with 2 seconds to go. Teravini last year was 2 of 3 between the 40 and the 49-yard line. Overall, 11 of 15 in field goals. A year ago, his longest a 43-yarder. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Coming from the near hash mark. Carlo Teravini, sophomore from Ontario, Canada. It's long enough, and it is good. So Hampton gets on the board on the last play of the first half on a 44-yard field goal by Carlo Teravini. So Jackson State takes the opening drive, their opening drive, and they march all the way down the field. And now Hampton University finally gets onto the board, and we'll go to Wendy Nix, Jesse Palmer, and Robert Smith in the studio right after this break.
Even more dreams will come true during the 2000s.
7-3 is our halftime score here in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl in the 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. With Jackson State on top of Hampton University. Right now, let's go down on the field and enjoy Jackson State University marching band, the Sonic Boom of the South, under the direction of Louis Liddell.
Today's halftime show with an exciting downfield drill to the tune, Get Ready. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. JSU for Jackson State University, Mississippi's comprehensive urban university, striving for excellence. The drill is continued to the music of Nobody Does It Better.
Jackson State University Marching Band down on the field, led by Lewis Liddell. The Sonic Boom from the South. We'll be back. We'll get a chance to see the Hampton Band, the marching force, in a moment. 7-3 is our halftime score. Jackson State over Hampton University here at halftime in this 4th edition of the SWAC MEAC Challenge, and we're in Orlando, Florida. And the Florida Citrus Bowl is where this game is coming to you from. And down on the field right now performing the Hampton University Marching Force, led by Al Davis, all the way from Hampton, Virginia. Let's listen in.
Now the force will execute a precision drill to the music of Miami's own Flow Rider, arranged by Rasan Holmes. Orlando, it's in the air. In this formation, we feature the flag corps, Silky. The captains are Scotty Johnson, Megan McKinney, and Letitia Ely. It's time to get low with the force as we show our love for Florida by forming a representation of the state. Break it down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, in concert shell, we feature the Ebony Fire Dancers performing to Elevator. Captains for Ebony Fire is Courtney Crouch. Co-captains Kiva Davis and Shakara Evans.
Hampton University Marching Force, led by Al Davis. We're at the Florida Citrus Bowl for the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Jackson State leading 7-3.
Even more dreams will come true during the 2008 Disney Dreams giveaway, like an overnight stay in the Cinderella Castle, small wonders, and special surprises. Magical Dream Fast Passes. Even stay overnight in the park in the Disneyland Dream Suite, originally designed for Walt Disney himself. It's all going on now as part of the Year of a Million Dreams at the place where dreams come true. Visit DisneyParks.com.
Are you ready for the max? Are you ready for the max?
We're always ready for the max. Yes!
I'm ready for the max.
Take your car to the max with quality Conoco gasoline. It's specially formulated to help clean fuel injectors in just 5 tanks to help reduce emissions and maximize mileage.
Are you ready for the max?
Are you ready for the max?
Help maximize your mileage with Conoco. Take it to the max.
is now on, but it won't last forever. The Lexus Summer Sales Event, where you'll find the best values of the year at your Lexus dealer, now through September 2nd.
The Southwestern Athletic Conference, founded in 1920, home to 10 outstanding institutions of higher learning that's dedicated to offering challenging educational opportunities to talented students and future leaders from all across America. Whether in the classroom or on the field of play, the SWAC is committed to building character and champions. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, focused on service, scholarship, and shaping the minds of our future leaders.
This halftime report is presented by Disney Parks, where dreams come true.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, the 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge, presented by Disney. 7-3 is our score here at halftime. The scoring was very, very sparse in the first half. Hampton didn't even get on the board until the last play of the first half. Of course, Jackson State University scored on their first offensive possession, driving all the way down the field with Trey Rutland hitting Gray with a 32-yard touchdown pass that culminated a 9-play, 89-yard drive that used up 3:34 off the clock. The point after touchdown was good. Now let's take a look at our Gillette first half stats. First downs, or rushing yards, Hampton University has done a better job in terms of first downs, 41-20. And then you look at the yards rushing and the yards passing. What do you think?
I think ultimately what happened was the fact that Hampton got in this game, they off shaky start. Nothing was working. Defense started to get in there, and that's where their total offensive yards picked up. But the first quarter, Jackson State clearly dominated. Momentum changed, and the turnover. But I think more importantly, it was the missed opportunity for a turnover that Hampton had with the dropped interception that could have been the game-changing moment in this ball game. But 7-3 score, evenly matched up so far. It's going to be an interesting second half.
And when you talk about penalties, there's you know, one of the things that neither team has done a bad job in terms of penalties. Only 9 between the two teams in the first half. And
ultimately, this game is going to be run in the trenches. In quarterback play, I think both of these quarterbacks need to step up and play a little bit better. I thought Rutland was solid, but if you're Hampton, if Bynes doesn't get his act together, you don't have a chance at all. And it's going to be interesting to see how Michael Mosley does in the second half. He came in and brought a little spark. Are they going to give him continued playing time in the second half?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he starts the second half or if they're going to start Trey Rutland in the second half and bring him in later on. But again, as we started at the beginning of this game, we said this game is a story of the two quarterbacks, inexperience on both sides. Even the young man Mosley, who transferred in from Louisiana Tech.
You know, we lose sight of the fact that this is their second start, and they're playing. Their second start is on the biggest stage they'll probably have in their whole career. Take a look at the quarterback comparison. Rutland was solid, I thought. Bynes got over 50%, but he got off to a horrendous start when he first started this contest. Settled down a little bit. Now we're going to see how calm he can be, and if the coaches can coach him up at halftime and get him to come out here and lead this team in the second half.
Well, Jackson State had 89 yards on their first drive. You saw what they had for the half. So they got a little lethargic after that first drive. It looked like they were going to run away with things.
You know what I think is missing? The running backs. I mean, both these coaching staffs thought they had the best studs in all the black college football playing running back. Haven't heard much from any of the running backs on both teams, so they've got to step it in pace. And whichever running back can break through, that'll be a big plus for both these offensive coordinators.
All right, we're getting ready for the second half kickoff. Of course, Jackson State will get the ball to start the second half. Let's go down to the sideline. Quint Kesnick is down there with us. Quint?
Charlie, I spoke to Hampton coach Jerry Holmes a couple of seconds ago as he was leaving the locker room. His real focus with Herbert Bynes was keeping everything simplistic. He thinks that there was a point in that game where they got a little complex offensively. They asked him to do a little too much. He said, reestablish the run game here in the third quarter and keep things simplistic for his quarterback who's making, his second start of his career.
And here's the kick. Finally picked up. Jackson State Carol Walters brings it back out to about the 21-yard line. We're reminding you you're watching coverage of the 2008 MEAC SWAC Challenge presented in high definition on ESPN2 HD. Along with Jay Walker, Quint Kesnick, I'm Charlie Neal. Glad you can spend part of your Labor Day weekend with us here. From the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, 7-3 our score. Jackson State with the ball to start the second half.
I'm not buying Coach's comments on keeping things simple to jumpstart the offense. I mean, guys were running wide open. You just missed them. So I don't know how you can simplify that when you got great play calls. But that's coach speak.
And he starts the second half with Trey Rutland, the man who started the game. That is Jackson State. Of course, he gave way to Michael Mosley late in the first half. But he comes out throwing, and Tobin Lyon was there defensively on the play after that completion to Tillman.
Tobin Lyon, one of those guys getting forced into the action because they had a couple of transfers that have not been cleared through NC2A clearinghouse right now. So Lyon's forced to get the start, and these are game day decisions basically. He probably knew 24 hours before this game began that he was going to be starting. He's played well so far.
Well, one of the young men, and we'll talk about him after this play, that should have been in the lineup as Rutland takes off, gets the first down, still on his feet, and across the 40 to the 42-yard line before he's finally brought down by Rasul Wilson, the sophomore out of Plainfield, New Jersey, who's getting the start at strong safety. That's one of those positions you were talking about earlier, Jay.
Hey, take a look at Rutland. Watch everybody flow this way. It's like everybody knows that the screen pass bubble screen is there. So what does Rutland do? Look. Oh, everybody's going. Let me take off and go up the middle of the field for big yardage. And that's what you want your quarterback to do. If everybody's flowing that way, hey, you got to come and go up the middle. It was a bad play call, but if you've got a good quarterback in control, he can make an offensive coordinator look like a genius. Good job by Tony Rutland. Trey Rutland. I'm sorry, Trey.
Trey Rutland, yes. And Gray goes off the field. Rodney Gray, who has the touchdown reception. They just helped him off the sideline. They're working on him over on the far sideline in front of the Jackson State bench. There he is. Rodney Gray, Jr. out of Batesville, Mississippi.
Oh, that's unfortunate because he's played great this afternoon.
Gray with the reception for the touchdown, the only one of the day in this ball game. And there was Dorzon with the carry, pick up a 5 on the play. You're talking about some of those people on that Hampton University team, Jay, that's not here today. One is Ricardo Kemp out of Warren, Arkansas, transferred for Tennessee, started 13 games in 07. And did not play against Wisconsin in the Outback Bowl for the Vols. And also Sam Pope, a preseason first-team All-MEAC selection, a senior out of St. Helena Island, South Carolina. And he was one of those young men they were relying on as far as the secondary is concerned for Hampton this year. And he's not here today. Here's a pass out in the near side, and it's complete to Brian Jackson. And Brian Jackson is down after getting the first down inside the 45 to the 44 before Lyon was there to make the stop defensively, number 31.
Man, look at Rutland get rid of this ball on rhythm. As soon as the wide receiver turns, ball's there, knees on the ground, that's over in college football. Play's dead. But let's get back to the transfers you talked about. And for those fans of Hampton University, that's something different. They have never relied on transfers, the number of transfers that they have. They like to groom the talent and grow it, and now they just change face and went with all these transfers.
Rutland has a man out there. Can he get it? Yes! It is caught inside the 10-yard line by Carlos Simpson. James Butts, the sophomore from Norfolk, Virginia, covering him defensively, but a great reception by Simpson.
Oh, yeah, you'll see Simpson. This ball hangs in the air a little bit, but look at Simpson. Just go get it and make the Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch to help out his quarterback. And DB caught in a bad position, looking back for a football. James Bates lost where he was on the field. You see Rutland there. Oh, yeah, good call, Coach. Good call.
Well, Carlos Simpson was the leading returning receiver for this Jackson State team. 41 receptions a year ago, only 1 touchdown, and trying to get in something going offensively. And that was Terrell Walters on the carry, the junior out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. We're talking about the Jackson State Impact players. How are they living up to your expectations now, Jay?
I think they're doing well. Rutland has played well. Carlos Simpson, you just saw the big play there. Marcella Speaks making tackles. And for Dominic Johnson not to have any stats, that's a good thing. That means they're not catching balls on him, and he's been shutting down those Hampton wide receivers. So good job by the impact players stepping up to play.
Jackson State a year ago was third in the SWAC in red zone offense. 39 of 50, 78%. They got into the end zone. Somehow intercepted. That's a touchback. Intercepted in the end zone by Rasul Wilson. Drove them all the way down the field from their own 21. And they get down there and they throw the INT.
It was a lazy route led by Marcel Frost. Take a look at Frost here, your tight end. Look what he does. He comes off the ball lackadaisical, just floating and drifting instead of running through the hole. You've got somebody coming in there behind you. You've got to clear that out. But because of the lazy release by the tight end Frost, forced Rutland to throw the interception. That's why number 25 was able to hang around there and come up with the INT.
So Hampton gets the ball at their own 20. Rasul Wilson coming up with the interception for the Pirates. Let's see if they can turn it into some points right now. And they keep it on the ground, going straight ahead with the running back, Dennis Mathis. We're at the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida for the 4th edition of the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Jackson State in their white jerseys. Hampton University, as you look at Rasul Wilson, just had the interception in their home dark jerseys. Along with Jay Walker and Quint Kesnick, I'm Charlie Neal. 7-3 is our score. Hampton University getting a field goal on the last play of the first half. On the end around, here's Dennis Mathis. You know, you talk about the great running backs over the history of Hampton University. I always think back to Montrell Coley, who had 3,800 rushing yards and 49 career rushing touchdowns. Then there was Alonzo Coleman, who was was the first 4,000-yard rusher at Hampton University with 62 rushing touchdowns. And then, of course, Ardell Daniels, last time they played Jackson State, he was a thorn in Jackson State's side. Here we go with Coker, the young man who transferred in out of Tennessee. They said he's missed a home run ball. Kerry Hoskins saved the day that time for Jackson State, because if he wasn't there, Coker might still be running to the end zone.
Good lead block, and you see Coker make himself small, then explode through the hole with good acceleration, get the hips through there, and that drive. And if that was not a textbook tackle put on him by the linebacker there trying to make the tackle, he would have gone all the way to the house. And it's that extra little giddy-up step that all the coaches were excited about.
And Hoskins, the man who made the stop, is a little slow getting up. They're tending to him. We'll take a timeout. 9:58, the time remaining. Maybe we won't. We'll stay here. Here he's going off the field, going off under his own power. So maybe just tweak something there. There he is, Kerry Hoskins out of Batesville, Mississippi. Still learning the position. Smallest of the starting DBs, but he did start for Jackson State in the championship game last year against Grambling. So it is a first down and 10 for Hampton University. Ball at the 45-yard line, their own 45. Here's Coker coming back on the counter inside, but he doesn't get away that time. The big number is at 55, Anthony Atkins, on the stop defensively. There he is. Senior out of Long Beach, California. You know something about Long Beach, don't you?
Yeah, he's a long way from home. How did he end up at Jackson State?
Well, you're from California. You ended up at Howard.
I went to America's Black College.
And you went to Long Beach State to start your college career.
Sure did.
George Allen decided he didn't want to play as a coach football anymore, huh?
Easy, fella, easy.
Second down and 9. On the delay handoff, Dennis Mathis.
You know, both these running backs, they've got similar style. Normally when you see a two running back set, you know, one guy's the power back and the other guy's the speed back. In this case, it looks like you got one that's quick and another one that's fast. You know, so it's not really a change of pace, and both these guys have tremendous footwork. So good job by the offensive staff of finding creative ways to keep both these guys on the field at the same time.
This is the third time these two teams have met, and you look at that Well, you're talking about knowing the play. And now, finally, Hampton recovers the ball. But who was that came through with a vengeance? Was that Marcellus Speaks? 56, I believe it was.
You know what happened? They got cute there. They put Coker in the shotgun. You take a look here. This is Coker right here in the shotgun.
Right.
He's in the shotgun there, so you know he's going to run the ball. And then you got Speaks, and to take a look at Speaks coming right there through the gap, and boom,
he had two people. He said, "I don't care who you send the ball to. I'm going to hit one of them. I've got both of them wrapped up."
Exactly. You know, you kind of can know you got a running back with a direct snap. Good recognition by Marcellus Speaks.
And this one will go out of bounds, and Jackson State will get the ball at the 21 when we come back. But a 45-yard punt. 7-3, still our score. There's Mr. Speaks, team captain, preseason second team all SWAC.
Do you know Game Day? Go to collegegameday.com to find out. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Before I started college courses, I charted these courses.
You see, we're on course, on track.
Before I got my electronic business underway, I got these underway.
Bridge, this is main control.
The Navy got me the money I need for college.
At Walt Disney World Resort, along with Jay Walker, Quint Kesnick, Charlie Neal, and this is the MEAC SWAC Challenge. The rain is held out for this particular game. Normally here in Central Florida, a lot of rain about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, isn't it?
Weather is different a little bit here in Florida, that's for sure.
First down at 10, Jackson State leading at 7-3 with the ball at their own 21-yard line. Trey Rutland is the quarterback. Deep handoff. And again, they keep the ball on the ground with Terrell Walters gaining maybe 2 yards on the play. Walters, a junior out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, started his college career at Delta State University, played there 2 years, sat out 07 after transferring, and had the most experience of the running backs coming into camp, which is kind of interesting.
You know, that's what's going to happen. You know, just want to touch back. We talk about the weather here in Florida. While we have a quick break in the action, our prayers go out to everybody down there in the Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Brace up, enjoy your game right now. And if you're close to that Louisiana area, get out of there.
Well, some of them already started evacuating this morning early. We do wish them our best. From the shotgun, Trey Rutland under a little pressure, screen outside to Walters, and Walters had nowhere to go, loses about 3 yards as Wade was right there to make sure he didn't get ahead of steam going. Number 24, Jonathan Wade, as a true freshman last year, played in 9 games for the Pirates of Hampton University. He even came up with an interception and played on a high school team at Meadowbrook in Richmond that won the state title back in 2004.
They keep the pipeline going. You just wonder, how do they keep getting these good athletes? And there's something about that Tidewater area. It must be the mixture of the salt water and the fresh water or something. It's like a blue crab. Blue crab special.
Third down. Rutland under pressure. Fumbles the ball. It may be a break for Hampton University. Second turnover today. Kendrick Ellis created the fumble. There he is.
Ellis had the fumble recovery.
Or the fumble recovery. May have been Ingram that had the fumble who created it.
Yeah, coming off that edge there. And one thing you'll see about Ingram, he'll come around there and just beat his man around there to the quarterback, and whoop, ball's on the turf. Kendrick Ellis, Johnny on the spot. And that may be the big break that the Pirates have been looking for all day. You knew that Jackson State would have some trouble protecting, and they came up with the big play.
First down. Second turnover for Jackson State, giving Hampton great field position with 6:10 to go here in the third quarter. And now player a little slow coming on the field. Play clock Where's it? Down to 3 seconds. Now they're going to force Hampton to call a timeout because somebody wasn't paying attention. And that's where coaches go berserk, right?
That's something where somebody might have got hurt at halftime. And what you had was coming in there late, number 65.
One of the offensive linemen, the timeout on the field, Jerry Holmes. His team is in great field position now.
College football lives here. Catch up to 12 out-of-market games every Saturday with the ESPN Game Plan pay-per-view package. To order, call your pay-per-view provider.
There are better days to meet us where we stand. They are gathering in clouds and spreading out over.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'll take that new egg white flatbread sandwich, please.
Excuse me, ma'am. I was wondering... Sorry.
Introducing the egg white flatbread sandwich from the new DD Smart menu. With under 300 calories...
Go deep!
And a delicious turkey sausage or veggie, it may just be the smartest choice you make all day.
I'm on 10.
America runs on Dunkin'.
Week 2, 2007.
Sporting Goods.
First down and 10, Hampton University, their best field position today at the 12-yard line of Jackson State. Here's Coker trying to get to the outside, tripped up in the backfield and loses yards back to the 15-yard line. A bunch of white jerseys surrounding him, led by Sam Washington and Brooks there. Oh, and let's look back at the play clock and the reason why Hampton University had to call a timeout. 40 seconds play clock after each play, set to 25 seconds on administrative stoppages such as penalties, injuries, timeouts, etc. And Bynes made a smart move, young quarterback, not a lot of experience, but not letting that play clock because one of the players who you would think would have been in there, Dennis Conley, was late coming on the field. Here's Bynes, wants to go to the air. There's a man open!
What a catch by
Did they call it touchdown? No, they got him out at the 1-yard line, his first and goal. But what a catch by Jeremy Gilchrist. It was a great throw by Bynes, the best throw today for him.
Oh, this was out of sight. You take a look here at Gilchrist, and I keep telling you, the kid is only 5'9", but he plays like he's 6'4". He almost got that butt on that pylon for the touchdown, ran a wheel route, went up there and got it anyway.
Marcus Smith was the man he beat. Marcus Smith, the linebacker from a year ago, there in the end zone. Touchdown. And on the carry, Jerry Cummings. Number 9 takes it in for Hampton. The senior out of Stark, Florida. A lot of Florida kids on both of these teams.
A lot of good football players down here in Florida. You can't blame them.
So, Jeremy Gilchrist takes it to the pylon. And Cummings takes it into the end zone from 1 yard out. And Hampton gets its first lead of the ball game. For the point after, Teravini. He only missed 3 all of last season. 92%. This one is good. And Hampton has taken a 10-7 lead over Jackson State here in the third quarter with 5:06 to go. Let's look at Mr. Jerry Cummings. He goes in almost untouched, and we'll be back.
Even more dreams will come true during the 2008 Disney Dreams giveaway, like an overnight stay in the Cinderella Castle, small wonders, and special surprises. Magical Dream Fast Passes. Even stay overnight in the park in the Disneyland Dream Suite, originally designed for Walt Disney himself.
After being shut out most of the first half, except for the last play before they went to the locker room and a field goal by Teravini, Hampton University has come back thanks to a pair of turnovers in the third quarter. They've capitalized and taken a 10-7 lead over the Tigers of Jackson State. This one coming after they just recovered a fumble down in Jackson State territory at the 12-yard line, and they take it in 3 plays. They're in the end zone. A big catch there by Jeremy Gilchrist to get him to the 1. From the 10-yard line, the return for Jackson State up to about the 27, 28-yard line. Let's go down to Quint Kesenick, who has some special guests with him.
Yes, I am joined by both commissioners from the SWAC, Dewar Sharp, from the MEAC, Dr. Dennis Thomas. First, I want to start with you, Dewar. What has been most pleasing to you about like the bowl-like festivities about this week?
I just think the way it gives exposure to the student athlete and the experience for them. You know, a lot of times you're in the SWAC and people think that is not the best experience, but with the help of Walt Disney and the city of Orlando and ESPN, this has been great for our student athletes.
Dr. Thomas, you were instrumental in putting this TV deal together. Why are you so proud of what we're seeing today?
Well, I just think it's a tremendous exposure for both institutions, both conferences. And I just thank ESPN and Disney for investing in the MEAC and SWAC. And it's always good to see a vision come to fruition.
And all of a sudden, we have ourselves a ball game. This year, the SWAC dropping the amount of league games from 9 to 7. What type of impact will that have on the football programs?
Well, hopefully it allows our institutions to go out and be a little bit more flexible and get those revenue games and non-conference revenue games. So that was the main reason from going from 9 to 7. But we think it's going to have, over the long term, it'll have a positive impact on our institutions.
Dr. Thomas, I'm always hearing whispers of a bowl game between the MEAC and the SWAC. Could something like that come together, a postseason game between these two conferences?
Yes, it's good. It could, but all the financial factors have to come together. Both conferences have to come together. That's something we've been in discussion about for several years now. So at some point in time, hopefully, it'll come about.
Thank you, gentlemen. Charlie, we got ourselves a game.
Yes, we do. And Mark Mosley is all the way up to the 45-yard line, and he has a first down. The backup quarterback, Michael Mosley, 16 yards on the scramble. Finally stopped by Jackie Bates. But going back to something that Clint asked Dennis Thomas about the bowl game for years, for 8 years, they played a Heritage Bowl. Between 91 and 99, the SWAC dominated that, winning 6 of the 8 meetings. And the only 2 wins, one was by Howard University, the other one by Hampton University, as far as the MEAC is concerned. First down from their own 46-yard line. Mosley, quick pop pass, and it's dropped on the far sideline. And that one intended to Roy James.
You know, we talked about the Heritage Bowl and what happened, how the SWAC established dominance. And as you take a look at the results from the Heritage Bowl, I thought one of the things that was missing in that, it was kind of a flawed concept. So you're talking about teams there. Let's take 94, the year we won it all at Howard University. We went to the playoffs. So you see 94 when Southern beat South Carolina State, the Bulldogs came in second. So you had the #1 team from the SWAC always playing the #2 team from the MEAC conference, because the MEAC has an automatic bid to the postseason playoffs. And it was a flawed concept. But can they get it right and have the true #1s playing in
True
postseason play?
#1s, yeah. From the other squad, this one is incomplete from Mosley. But the idea was great.
Oh, I love it.
The idea was great, and it just, you know, like I said, 99 was the last year they played it. Then 3 years ago they came up, or 4 years ago they came up with the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
Yeah, could you imagine if the MEAC had a championship game like the SWAC does, and the winner of the MEAC championship game against the winner of the SWAC championship game, and with the MEAC expanded?
Right, and one of the things yeah, Winston-Salem coming into the conference this year, and one of the things that you talked about, Jay, was the fact that the SWAC doesn't get an automatic bid to the FCS playoffs because Alabama State plays on Thanksgiving Day against Tuskegee, and of course the Bayou Classic between Southern University and Grambling. Well, Gillette presents Kickoff Week, continues Labor Day on ESPN. As Arian Foster and the 18th ranked Vols of Tennessee, they take on Khalil Bell and the UCLA Bruins, and that'll come your way tomorrow night. It's college football prime time presented by Jack Links as part of the College Kickoff Week presented by Gillette on ESPN Monday night, September 1st. Comes your way at 8 p.m. Eastern. More information, log on to ESPN.com. newspike.com. And so far, what you've seen over the first weekend of college football, anything that surprises you?
The balance. It's going to be a wide open year. The spread offense, it doesn't look like anybody's figured out the magical formula in order to stop it. A couple teams have had success stopping it, but you saw the game last night between Missouri and Illinois. Oh my goodness, shootout. And I think you're going to see more games like that.
94 points between the two teams.
And that Tennessee team, the one that we're going to see Monday, I'm telling you, if they find a quarterback that can play, they're going to be really, really good. They could win the SEC if a young quarterback steps up.
What's happening at Clemson? We'll talk about that after this play. Here's Mosley going back to work, looking up top. The receiver wasn't running full out. He's had a couple passes dropped on him today, so that'll bring on the punting team. But talking about that Clemson squad losing to Alabama, Clemson went into the game ranked 9th in the nation.
You know, and that's the one, and give credit to Nick Saban down there at Bama. You know, you saw the young freshman phenom Julio Jones get involved in the action there. It looks like Bama's coming back. They talked about how, can you believe the University of Alabama did not have one person drafted to the NFL last year? Don't count on that happening.
Hampton had more than Alabama, didn't it?
Wow, who would have thunk it?
Fair catch being signaled for and called for and made after a 42-yard punt. Let's go down to Quint with the special guest.
I am with the Ford Roadies, and this is a Ford product. Basically, these two student athletes, Chelsea Wells, Winston Robinson, for the next 12 weeks, they'll be going to 10 HBCU football games in a Ford Flex, customized by Funkmaster Flex. And Chelsea, your background's in radio and TV. When you first found out about this project, what went through your mind?
Oh my goodness, I was so excited. Well, we'd been waiting for so long to kind of hear back, and it'd been a long process. I was so excited, so I got the call, and I was just like, please say yes, just praying about it. But yeah, I was excited, and I'm having a great time while I'm here. The Flex is wonderful.
10 games, over 13,000 miles. Winston, you're going to also get the opportunity to talk to high school students. What are you going to emphasize?
Well, basically the importance of higher education. Try to lure some of them in the interest of HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, but to see more of us, go to FordRoadTrip.com.
Now, you're both HBCU graduates. 10 games. Which game are you most excited about?
I'm really excited to go back and see my home team at the Magic City Classic in Birmingham. I'm an Alabama A&M alum, so I'm really excited about that. But I've always wanted to go to the Bayou Classic in Louisiana, too, so I'm really looking forward to going there.
The Ford Flex, wow, what a car. Leather, just unbelievable the way it's been customized. What were your thoughts the first time you sat behind the wheel?
Absolutely wonderful. It drives smaller than what it is. It's a cool car. And if the icing on the cake, ours is customized by Funkmaster Flex. So it's a beautiful car. Go see your local Ford dealer. You got to test drive one. Wonderful. You'll love it.
12 weeks. Actually, you get 2 bye weeks, but you two are going to be spending a lot of time together. How's it going so far?
Oh, Winston is great. We've become really good friends. We've had to work together a lot. And he's good. He doesn't mind my driving, and I'm enjoying his. We're learning each other. It's been a good experience so far.
Charlie, nothing like a long road trip.
Yeah, nothing like riding with me, huh? Funkmaster Flex, huh? A good friend of yours, Jay?
You know, in the hip-hop world, you know me, I'm a child of hip-hop, so Flex is where it's all about. You know, he's not one of these gimmick guys just trying to fix up a car and do it. I mean, Flex has been he's had TV shows regarding cars, and I know that Flexmobile's got to be hot. Now, I'm a little worried down there now, you know. She got a boyfriend riding around 12 weeks. Need to ask Quint to follow up on that.
All right. 3 and out for Hampton on that drive that started at their 13. They're punting from the 7. They lost 6 yards. A chance for a good field position for Jackson State, and they may have muffed that one. Hampton has it back. That was a muff after a 45-yard punt. And now Hampton with good field position. I believe it was Timothy Clark, number 17, who had his hand on it for a moment and then let it get away. There he is, number 17.
Why go up and get this ball? It's a low line drive punt there, and that's DeMario Pippen.
Yeah.
And Pippen, you just got to get away from that there. That ball's there.
Pippen started it, yeah.
That's what you call a freshman mistake. He's a freshman there. Don't get it. Low line drive. If you've got to short hop that ball, get away from it and just live to fight another day. But now Hampton University gets the ball. Let's see if they can take advantage of the miscue by Jackson State.
With 1:34 to go in the third quarter, Hampton in great field position. The ball resting on the Jackson State's side of the 50-yard line. First down and 10 after lifted him up, and here's a keeper by the running back Coker. Coker is going to keep the ball. They sent it to him before. The last time they tried that, he got smashed.
You know, we're looking here on the sidelines, and we can see Bynes is on the sideline. So they've got a package in there for Coker. And when you talk to the coaching staff, they said
he can play quarterback.
He can play quarterback, and he can throw the football a little bit. So I think what they're going to try to do is bait Jackson State into thinking they're just going to come out and run, and then release a pass.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, don't get lulled into a false sense of security, because you got slot receivers on the left-hand side, and you have a man in motion, and they hand it off to the near side to Mathis. Mathis trying to break a tackle, maybe a yard, and that's about it, a hard yard or two. Down to the 40-yard line, Ryan Rich on the stop defensively, number 14 for Jackson State. But turnovers has been the thing that's plagued Jackson State here in the third quarter, as the third quarter is about to come to an end.
Yeah, you saw Trey Rutland throw an interception in the end zone, taking points off the board, and then helped Hampton put points on the board when he fumbled the ball, and Hampton took advantage of it. They turnover after turnover, and this one right here, this could be a costly one here. Come up, muff punt. Now Hampton gets the ball again in great scoring position. And it's been turnovers in the second half that have really allowed Jackson State to relinquish the lead that they held for most of this ball game.
Now timeout has been called by Jackson State. 10 seconds left in the third quarter here. This was a third and less than a yard situation for Hampton University against Jackson State in the series. This is only the third time that these teams have met. Jackson State beat them 38-19. I should say Hampton won 38-19 in 2004 and 20-7 in 2005. And of course, the Pepsi 500 coming your way tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern right here as NASCAR Sprint Cup Series goes on in California. Coverage begins with the NASCAR countdown, and that comes your way at 7 p.m. Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Who's your driver? You know, I got a little favorite I like. I like Stewart. Got a little attitude about him.
But he is not.
Chip on the shoulder.
What happened with him and Joe Gibbs?
You know, it's like my father once told me, hey, you either own your own business.
Didn't they just sign a little 19-year-old kid?
Yes, but Stewart went and started his own racing company.
Well, that's what happens.
Can't be an employee forever, right?
And Joe Gibbs just signed a teenager to take his place. And there's the first down gain by Cummings, the young man who scored the only touchdown of the game so far for Hampton. And he gets the first down with 6 seconds left in the third quarter. They'll wind the clock, and they won't get this play off before it goes to zeros. 10-7. Rick Comegys. Things are not looking good right now for his team. We'll be back.
Dude.
As we start the fourth quarter here in Orlando at the MEAC SWAC Challenge, along with Quint Kesnick and Jay Walker, I'm Charlie Neal. 10-7. Hampton on top of the Tigers of Jackson State, and they have the ball first down and 10 at the 38-yard line of Jackson State. Bynes throws, has it complete in the middle of the field to Lloyd, and Lloyd is inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, a 14-yard gain on the pass play. That is Kyle Lloyd, a junior out of Stafford, Virginia. Dominique Johnson, who's a big pro prospect, guarding him on the play and had to make the tackle.
Yeah, tough coverage assignment right there. Hampton came out, ran combination, two slant patterns, one guy to clear out, another guy, Lloyd, to come in right behind it. And a good throw there by Bynes for the first down pickup.
Bynes had struggled early on throwing the ball, missed the receivers who were wide open. And as Jay had alluded to at one point, he couldn't even hit Disney. But he's done a better job in the second half as Mathis turns the corner, going to the right side and bounced out of bounds on the far sideline by Malcolm Palmer, number 26. Let's catch you up to date on our game summary here. Jackson State scored their first offensive possession of the ball game to take a 7-0 lead. Hampton scored on the last play of the first half on a field goal of 44 yards, and then Hampton took advantage of a turnover and put the ball in the end zone, and they've taken a 10-7 lead. It is 2nd down and 3. Coker is in there right now at the quarterback spot for Hampton University. He takes the direct snap. He goes straight ahead, and he has the first down. Marcellus Speaks there defensively for the Tigers of Jackson State, number 56, a gain of 6 for Coker.
Great job by offensive coordinator Corey Sullivan for Hampton University, showing confidence and going back to that athletic package he had earlier. They had negative plays on it earlier, stuck with Coker as a quarterback, and looks like it's really thrown off the rhythm of this Jackson State defense. Coker hitting the hole hard.
Well, not much running room that time, as the handoff comes from Bynes. And Cummings was the man who got the handoff, and Marcellus Speaks was there to meet him in the hole. But you're talking about Coker, LaMarcus Coker, the kid from Antioch, Tennessee, which is outside of Nashville. We talked earlier about the fact that he went to Tennessee, had a fantastic freshman year. In fact, he was in 06, scored the team's only touchdown on a 42-yard run against Penn State in the Outback Bowl. So the kid has talent, and has just had some issues there at Tennessee. Has found a new home. A lot of transfers, and an enormous amount of transfers, more than normal, coming over to Hampton University this year. Coker keeps it on the fake handoff, and he doesn't get far, maybe a yard that time, as he is brought down by Malcolm Palmer, the strong safety, a preseason first-team all-conference selection and a mass communications major. But talking about those transfers at Hampton University, one of the things that Coach Jerry Holmes talked about is because the program has had so much success, a lot of kids, you know, they've come from all over the country to come here. They're not like kids coming back to Virginia who live there. Here you got Coker from Tennessee, players coming from Ohio and places like that. It's because the program has had such good success over the years. Here's Bynes working from the shotgun. He stands in there, lets it go. Should be 6. It is. Touchdown, Hampton University, and it's Jeremy Gilchrist. 12 yards on the pass.
Bynes did a good job of sticking with his intended target. Once he found an opening to squeeze that ball in there, watch him zip it. You're going to see Gilchrist come across here. Take a look at Bynes, throw it right between the 1 and the 9. Good job of waiting out the route, showing good patience and discipline.
The last 2 scores for Hampton was a result of miscues by Jackson State. This was after a muff punt. Here's the point after by Turavini. It is good. And now Hampton University takes a 17-7 lead with 12:06 to go here in the 4th quarter. Bynes his first career touchdown pass.
What can I say? It's in my blood. Racing, the STP, it really gets me going.
Because Marathon gasoline with
17-7, Hampton University. They've scored 14 points off of miscues by Jackson State. A fumble recovery and then a muff punt return. And our scoring drive, 9 plays, 49 yards. They use 4:28 off the clock, and Herbert Bynes throws his first career touchdown pass. He started only 1 game last year. That was against Bethune-Cookman, and he was 7 of 14, 114 yards and an interception before giving away to T.J. Mitchell late in that contest.
Looks like Jeremy Gilchrist has a little contingency of fans. Why not come to us? What it's all about. College football weekend. Your son or relative is playing in the game. Go enjoy Labor Day in Orlando, and hopefully your team can go home with the victory, too.
Gilchrist, 69 receptions a year ago and 7 touchdowns. This kick drives Simpson all the way. But it's not Simpson on the return for Jackson State. That is Dorzan, the running back, bringing it back. A flag is down. There's a penalty marker down, and it's against Jackson State. So everything seems to be going against them right now as you look at Jeremy Gilchrist.
Number 52 on Jackson State, 10-yard, first down.
Gilchrist, a senior out of Lansdowne High and Virginia Beach.
Let's talk about this touchdown, how it worked. Two-man passing game. Watch Kevin Teal run to be covered here, and you're going to see Jeremy Gilchrist run to get open with the crossing route here, just the way you draw it up. Perfectly executed by Hampton. Take a look at Gilchrist come over the middle. It's like playing video game football, Charlie, when they make it that simple, isn't it? All you got to do is run and catch it.
You're playing video game.
Hey, I'm playing Madden right now. That's sweet. That's perfectly executed. And I like the fact how Teal ran to be covered to occupy that linebacker so Gilchrist could sneak in behind him.
Gilchrist out of the same high school as Percy Harvin from Florida. Lansdowne, Chris Beatty was their coach down there, who's now at West Virginia, was an offensive coordinator here at Hampton a few years ago. Stayed 1 year and then went on to West Virginia. He has brought out some fine talent out of Lansdowne High there.
He has, and he's one of the rising stars in the coaching profession. And he really helped elevate this passing game. And Corey Sullivan took over this offensive coordinator role. He just kind of kept it going. You know, unique, creative ways of getting things done. And both guys, Corey Sullivan's a rising star in terms of offensive minds as well. He's going to get his number called soon, too.
Mosley in there. There he is, 0 for 6 in the passing department today. Here's the young man from Louisiana Tech. They have great hopes for him. Finally gets one complete. Just as we said that to Marcel Frost, the tight end.
That's how you want your tight end to play. Get big. Make yourself physical. I got on Marcel Frost earlier because I thought he ran a lazy route. But look at him play big here. This ball's thrown up in the air. He's 6'5". He goes up and catches that ball around 7 feet in the air. And that's why you have such big targets. It's an easier target to hit when they're running across the middle if you're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7".
Marcel Frost had a medical red shirt a year ago because of a broken leg. A transfer out of Ohio State. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. Here's Mosley again. This one just sails away. Nobody home for that one. Well, Mosley finally 1 of 7 in the passing department today.
And he seems like when he misses his passes, that's how he's going to miss. Because of the unorthodox low elbow with his delivery, balls tend to sail. Every ball we've seen him throw today has been high. We just saw Frost go up and make a great catch to help him out, but he's got to work on getting that elbow up so he doesn't have such a low release point. That way he doesn't have to worry about balls sailing.
You saw a shot of Rick Comegys there, head coach at Tuskegee for 10 years. Won 4 SIC titles. Won the national SWAC championship a year ago. In his second year here at Jackson State. And that pass complete to Dorzon. Dorzon is brought down by Joaquin Good. Gain is out to the 40-yard line. There's still going to be a 3 yards shy of a first down. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3.
Now this is tough for a defensive coordinator because you want to get pressure, but you've got a more athletic quarterback back there. So you have a 3-man rush. You've got to think and assume that Mosley can just rush for this first down.
Lets it go. This one is incomplete. Now flag is coming down. And that'll be the second pass interference penalty call against Tobin Lyon.
Got there a little bit early, but as you see him going on the sideline to talk to his offensive coordinator, you've got to know down and distance as a quarterback. You don't need 18 yards. You need 3. Why take a chance and throw an 18-yard skinny post pass downfield rather than wait out the easy route right in front of you, easy throw in front of you. Game management is key. And Michael Mosley got lucky that he got bailed out with that penalty.
He certainly did. We're talking about Jackson State, and we mentioned earlier Walter Payton and the Walter Payton Award given out here, and 3 members from Jackson State in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Lem Barney winning in 1992, Walter Payton inducted in 93, Jackie Slater in 2001. And then very proud alums of Jackson State University. First down and 10 now after the penalty. Wide open, dropped. Incomplete by Marcellus Wilder, who is a story in himself, a freshman out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. That's the 6th drop today by Jackson State. Drop.
Just dropped. I mean, they brought pressure. The offensive line picked it up. And what you really like as an offensive coordinator is for a team to blitz and you have it protected, because then you know you got one-on-one coverage down the field. And if Wilder makes that catch, there's nobody there to stop him to make the tackle. He's got to hold on to that football.
He's a true freshman, and he can get it done. He played for Melvin Pete, a former coach here and a former quarterback at Jackson State. down at Tuscaloosa Central High School. Here's a pass again. This one is, I don't know who that was intended for.
And how'd he miss? He missed high. He's got to work on that release with the elbow. I mean, on the longer throws, the balls are sailing on him because of that release point. So he tried to throw the out route and missed it by 8 feet in the air. So that's something mechanically he's going to have to work on and improve upon. Take a look. He's got a nice pocket. He's here, but I mean, look at this elbow. Look where it is. Get that thing up higher in the air. That ball just is released above. He's got plenty of arm strength, but he's got to do something in terms of the release point, or else he's never going to be an accurate passer.
Chris Baker was close to bringing him down. He just got that away. 3rd down and 10 now for Jackson State. Now he wants to take off and run. Mosley has a little daylight, and he may have the first down. Just a determined second effort as he got to the 35-yard line, and a bunch of blue jerseys sitting there, but he was determined to get to that first down mark.
Defensive coordinator's worst nightmare, a mobile quarterback, and he makes up his mind quick. I'm out of here. I'm not throwing the ball well. Runs hard and
what do you say? I'm out of here.
Gets hit a couple times, but you like the effort. You know, you like the effort. That's where college football, the athleticism of these kids today is really improved upon what they're able to do, and it's so much harder to defend an offense with a spread attack and a mobile quarterback.
11 yards on that run by Mosley. He has a first down, and he's going to hand it off this time to one of the backs coming out of the backfield. A gain of 5 yards, and that's Dorzon on the carry. Let's go down to Quint Kesnick on the sideline.
Jackson State team right now riddled with injuries. Trey Rutland, their quarterback, in the locker room getting treatment for cramps. It is hot, it is muggy, it is humid. But think about the guys they have lost in this offensive team so far. Rodney Gray, wide receiver, who scored the first touchdown. Carlos Simpson limped off in the 3rd quarter. Jeremy Pierce, their cornerback, left with a shoulder injury, and left tackle Michael Smith left with a busted up heel, Charlie.
Well, I'll tell you, you just cannot afford to lose that many people, especially in game number 1 of the season. You came out of camp pretty good shape as Marcel Frost could not hold on, and of course all of that with Rutland in the locker room right now, a lot of it is falling on the shoulders of Mr. Mosley.
And I'll give him credit. I mean, those numbers are bad, but 4 drop balls. I mean, you get those balls, and not only would those be completed passes, a couple of those would have been touchdowns had they held on to it. So he's getting, you know, he's learning under what black college football is all about. Transfer from Louisiana Monroe and being thrown in this type of pressure. He's doing a good job. Louisiana Tech, I'm sorry. And so, you know, what he's doing now, he seems to be responding and finding his rhythm in this football contest.
3rd down, 3 of 9 in 3rd down conversions, and this one is a flag down. It's complete inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line, and it was Kevin Tillman on the reception. There he is, Keenan Tillman, rather, a true freshman out of Milton, Florida, from Milton High. 60 receptions in high school a year ago at Milton High with 16 touchdowns. Let's see what the call is from our referee, George McCullum.
After the play was over, personal foul, face mask, number 24 on the defense, after the to goal, first down.
Jonathan Wade guilty of the infraction for Hampton University. So now Jackson State knocking on the door. Mosley having to come through. And that was on Tillman as he was going down, probably inadvertent. But there's a new face mask penalty rule this year as Mosley decides to keep the ball but doesn't get anywhere, as the defense was pretty stiff there for Hampton University. Let's look at the face mask penalty rule change. If it's incidental like it used to be, where they gave it a 5-yard, that is no longer in existence. It has to be blatant face mask penalty. Incidental contact no longer penalized. Anything else, 15 yards or half the distance in this situation to the goal line.
And I think that's fair, because sometimes you're down there trying to bull rush somebody, your hand just gets stuck in somebody's face mask.
Good catch, touchdown. Jackson State on the reception for the Tigers of Jackson State is Rashad Smith.
I like Michael Mosley's confidence and swagger. The numbers weren't impressive, but he kept on throwing. You talk about a gunslinger. If you're a gunslinger, then keep on slinging, and sooner or later, you'll find a wide receiver that can hold on to the football for you. In this case, it's Rashad Smith. He gets hit, but gets rid of it, delivers a strike for the touchdown.
And we have a ball game here with 8:06 to go. The point after by Eric Perry. And flags come down before he can continue through. Both of these kickers in this game for both squads had 39 PAT attempts a year ago. Eric Perry was 37 of 39. For Jackson State, Turavani from Hampton was 36 of 39. So they have have a lot of confidence in their kickers, both squads.
This will be interesting. If this is against Hampton, you may consider going for 2.
We had contact on the defense. Half distance to the goal, re-kick.
They're going half a distance to the goal, so now you only need 1.5 yards, and you can get 2 points. And if you get 2 points, and all of a sudden,
well, they were looking over the sideline. They were looking over the sideline to see if they wanted to go for 2.
I mean, the safe thing is
it's a shorter extra point. Hey, it's a short extra point.
You got to play for the win, not for the tie.
Sometimes you have long extra points, and you have short extra points. And it's blocked. Coming up with the block for Hampton, Jackie Bates.
Told you should have gone for it.
Jackie Bates came in from the left side and got in there and knocked it down.
But look at the trajectory on this kick. It never had a chance. I mean, regardless of how close the defender got to it, this is low trajectory kick with no chance at all.
There it is. Watch the left side. Jackie Bates comes in, and we'll be back.
No time for free.
The MEAC SWAC Challenge is presented by Disney Parks, where dreams come true. And in part by Navy.
17-13 our score here. 8:06 the time remaining here in the fourth quarter. Charlie Neal along with Quint Kesnick and Jay Walker for this MEAC SWAC Challenge. And here's the Jackson State scoring drive. 12 plays, 80 yards. They used 4 minutes off the clock. And I had just sung the praises of Eric Perry, that he'd only missed 2 PATs a year ago. And actually, that kick wasn't blocked. I credited Bates with the block, but he actually just didn't get it up, and it hit one of his offensive linemen in the rear. Not much doing there on that return. As Butts was on the return for Hampton University.
Now it's time to see how the Pirates respond.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like they gained a comfortable lead up by 10 points, and all of a sudden, Jackson State came out and responded with their own touchdown, and the special teams play there kind of has deflated the momentum that Hampton's seeing in the game, and the offense needs to respond with a key scoring drive right now.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond. Herbert Bynes has gone all the way at quarterback. Little light counter down the line, and they get a 5-yard gain, make it about 4 yards on the play as they try to go off to the right side, keeping the ball on the ground with Dennis Mathis, the sophomore out of Phoebus High in Hampton, Virginia. Marcus Bernard, number 80, senior out of Ypsilanti, Michigan. Grand Rapids Central.
Let's give credit to Marcus Bernard and Dennis Coit, Neil Polgay, and Sam Washington in front. For some reason, Hampton's gone away from trying to run the ball right up the middle. They've got them running side to side, which means the front four for Jackson State doing a great job.
Trying to come to the left side. And out to the 2 yard, about 2 yards on the gain. On the run, Bernard also on the stop with Rich. And again, it's Dennis Mathis on the carry. We're in Orlando, Florida for the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Jackson State against Hampton at the Florida Citrus Bowl, along with Jay Walker and Quint Kesnick. I'm Charlie Neal. Glad you could join us. And coming up next, as soon as we're done here, we'll have the Mac Tools NHRA U.S. Nationals coming your way. It's qualifying. 3rd down now. 3rd and 4 for Hampton University. Caught for first down by Brown. Dustin Brown. Yes, it was. That was a great catch by Brown. The ball was a little high, but he went up and got it.
Yeah, you see him, and he's one of the bigger wide receivers they have. Dustin Brown goes 6 feet 2 inches tall. The senior coming down with a huge reception to keep the drive alive and use a little bit more time off that clock.
That's his 4th reception today at the 40-yard line, 1st down and 10. For Hampton University, they lead it by 4. Clock running. They would like to use this clock up here as much as they can. Crowd in the box, that is Jackson State defensively, and a fumble. And let's see who has it. It may be Jackson State. We're waiting for the officials. Yes, it is. Marcellus Speaks and Sam Washington. They were crowding the box. They came in with a vengeance and created the turnover. The 2nd one of the day for Hampton University.
One thing about Marcellus Speaks, he's what we call a good old-fashioned ball hawk. If the ball's on the field, he's going to find a way to go get to it. Just bum rushes the center with a swim move. Is there to disrupt the quarterback, running back exchange. And Marcellus Speaks, 2nd time he's done that today. He's got good size and quickness and a nice swim move. And not only does he make the hit, but he's in there for the fumble recovery as well. Talk about impact player.
Yeah.
Marcellus Speaks getting it done.
So Jackson State with an opportunity to regain the lead. They get the ball in Hampton territory. 1st down and 10 at the Hampton 34-yard line. Mosley, the quarterback. Take it over. Here's a deep pitch to the right side. Dorzon trying to find somewhere to go. Back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a half a yard, if that. Let's look at Jackson State. First drive of the day, they went 89 yards, got it into the end zone. Their last drive, 88 yards, and they scored. But their other 7 drives only had a total of 99 yards. It was like 2 different ball games for them.
They don't like getting good field position. They want to drive the length of the field. It seems like they're following that cue. They're a little too close to the end zone right now. So
we don't want the ball in your territory. We want to get it back at the 8. 10.
But I'll tell you what, shape it up. How important was that missed PAT? You've got 5 minutes left in this game. You don't know how many more times you get the ball back. You only have 1 timeout. I think from here on in, it's 4 down territory.
Yeah, Hampton with 2 timeouts. Jackson State with only 1 remaining. Mosley working out of the shotgun now for Jackson State. There he goes. Has it behind the intended receiver, Tillman.
And if you're a team like Jackson State, or any team going against Hampton's defense, you don't want to put yourself in obvious pass situations, because they've got a front 4 that can get after the football. One thing that Mosley's been able to do is absorb some blows, but even on the touchdown pass he threw in the previous drive, he still got hit just as he released it.
You got a shot of James Woody, the offensive coordinator, who was a pretty good quarterback in his own right at Central State University, won a national championship, played for Billy Joe. Coach who's up at Miles College now, former Florida A&M coach. 2nd down. And we're going to get a sack. Whistle blows back across midfield. Coming up is big number 99, Chris Baker, the young man from Penn State University. Got into some problems up there with Joe Pa, and now he's making his presence felt here at Hampton. Don't forget, coming up next, the MAC Tools NHRA U.S. National Championship. Only one of the top 10 in points in each class. The final NHRA race before our 6th race countdown to 1 begins. So, should be a very interesting evening. As Nationals qualifying. 3rd down. Pressure again. Here's Mosley. He'll step up. Has some running room. He puts his head down and borrows forward. And that'll bring up a 4th and 10. But the ball's at the 35-yard line after a 16-yard gain. That'll bring up a 4th down play.
Yeah, and that was big that he was able to get half of that yardage back, more than half of that. You'll see him here step up, and they might have got a face mask call, but he took off running. And because he's doing that, he's able to give his team the ability to go for it on 4th and 10. So we talked about it maybe 4-down territory. If he doesn't pick up 15 yards on that scramble, then they're punting the ball away by force. Now they get an opportunity to try and keep the drive alive and go for it on 4th down.
Well, last year they were 4-15, 27% in 4th down conversions. Let's see if they can convert here. First time today they've tried it. It's in and out of that receiver's hands. It could have been complete, but not able to hold on to it was Rashad Smith downfield. 8th drop today for Jackson State. You think the receivers coach for Jackson, that is Derek McCall, won't have them
on the ball machine all week
long?
But you know, that's one of the disadvantages of having a right-handed quarterback and a left-handed quarterback, because they come at different angles, and Rutland's a lefty. They got used to the righty.
There's a timeout on the field. 3:44 remaining here. Here's the pass. Incomplete. Rashad Smith couldn't hold on. Rick Comegys, he's disappointed. We'll be back.
Even more dreams will come true during the 2008 Disney Dreams giveaway. Like an overnight stay in the Cinderella Castle. Small wonders and special surprises. Magical Dream Fast Passes. Even stay overnight in the park in the Disneyland Dream Suite, originally designed for Walt Disney himself. It's all going on now as part of the Year of a Million Dreams at the place where dreams come true. Visit DisneyParks.com.
Make a U-turn as soon as possible. Make a U-turn as soon as possible.
Okay.
Turn right in 500 feet.
Where are you taking me?
Turn right.
But
Turn
I did make a...
Turn
Okay,
right.
supposed to...
Turn right. Turn right.
Huh. Phillips 66.
Right.
Listen to your car. It'll tell you it wants the hard-working gas from Phillips 66, specially formulated to clean fuel injectors, reduce emissions, and above all, help maximize mileage with every tank. Make your car very happy and help maximize mileage with Phillips 66, hard-working gas.
You know what's another cool thing about summer? The great deals. If you act fast, you'll save big during the Mercury Summer Clearance. So many choices, so little time. Like the 34 miles per gallon Mercury Mariner Hybrid, the most fuel-efficient SUV on the planet.
Just announced. 0% financing for 72 months on Mercury Mariner. The best deal of the year ends on September 2nd.
Hey, you've got to put Mercury on your list.
A lot goes through your mind after an accident. But with Liberty Mutual, insurance issues won't. Because we offer unlimited rental coverage, new car replacement, and accident forgiveness to help ease your mind. And that's our policy. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hampton leading 17-13. Can they hold on and give Jerry Holmes his first win as a head coach on the college scene? Many years as an assistant. And I asked him this week, I said, what's the difference in what you've had to do and what adjustments have you had to make as being a head coach? He said, basically monitoring the whole game as opposed to being a defensive coordinator or defensive backs coach. I've got to monitor the whole game, know when to call timeouts, how to manage the game. And that's the biggest adjustment he's had to make.
He can work on a little bit of sideline emotion, too.
Yeah.
That wouldn't hurt.
He's very stoic on the sideline. You wouldn't know if he was ahead by 100 points or down by 30, you know, as the ball is goes to Larry Coker. Here's Mosley. He's being retaped. The other quarterback, Trey Rutland, already has gone in the locker room, so the players are being banged up, and a lot of this has to do with heat exhaustion, and you would think maybe that Jackson State could be in a little better shape because they work out in the heat of Jackson, Mississippi. It's more heat down there than it is in Virginia, in Hampton, Virginia.
Yeah, but, you know, that Tidewater's off that. They get some humidity up there as well, but just credit to the Hampton. They're a strong team. They get the weights, they work hard, and they seem to be the more in-shape team this afternoon.
Coker trying to go to the right side. LaMarcus dropped for a loss back to the 40. Don't forget, coming up right after our game, Mac Tools, NHRA U.S. National Champion. Today's final race before our 6-race countdown to 1 begins, and only the top 10 in points in each class have a shot at winning the championship after the day. You want to stay tuned for that. There, again, you look at Mosley on the sideline.
Well, there's no cramp there. He got banged up, and we talked about he was taking some hits, and he stayed tough. I really like that. He's a tough quarterback, and it never looked like the rush was affecting him, but you can see now the long-term effects of all those hits he took from the defensive line, and that's how you gain your teammates' respect.
Big third down play for Hampton. Can they keep the drive alive? Coker out in the flat. He's not going to get anywhere. Swarming defense by Jackson State, and he loses 3 more yards, and that'll bring up a 4th down. So Jackson State will get the ball back with just under 2 minutes to play after the forthcoming punt by Jamal Blanchard. And now a timeout being called by Jackson State. That is their last timeout. So they've used all of their timeouts. 1:58 is the time remaining. So Jackson State out of timeouts. They'll get the ball after the Hampton University punt. Let's talk strategy.
Let's go back to, again, how important was that missed PAT? Now they've got to score when they get the ball back. I do like the taking the timeout right now, because don't let all that time run off the clock at the giving Hampton the opportunity to grind down another 30 seconds. Go ahead, use your timeout now. That way you can control by your play calling when the time is going to evolve and tick off the clock. So it's going to be an interesting minute and a half coming up.
You see Trey Rutland has his helmet back on. Now here's the first drive for Jackson State. They score on a pass to Gray. Then a field goal by Turavini made it 7-3, last play of the first half. Third quarter, Cummings, a 1-yard run, and that gave Hampton the lead for the first time today. Then Bynes on a 12-yard pass to Gilchrist made it 17-7. And then Mosley, a 9-yard pass to Smith. That made it 17-13 because the PAT was missed right here. And that's the way we stand right now. First down, and make that 4th down right now for Hampton University. They're punting it away. This is Carlos Simpson on the return. And Simpson out to the 32-yard line. Remember, they have no more timeouts remaining. 45-yard punt, 12-yard return, first down and 10. And it's Trey Rutland coming back in for Jackson State. He is 12 of 18, 182 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception so far this afternoon.
Opportunity to start off this game on fire, see if he can find that same fire at the end of the game. And this is going to be interesting, because you got to think, had Mosley not been as banged up, they probably would have gone with Mosley for the running threat.
Right, a tough day for Jackson State as far as quarterbacks are concerned. They lost 2 fumbles, had an interception, had 8 passes dropped. Just think if they catch 4 of them,
they'd be winning this football game.
And this one is incomplete. They're going to mark this as incomplete.
And they'll be doing him a favor, because had he caught that ball in bounds, the clock would have kept on ticking, and that's something you got to do. I understand what you're doing. The most important play on any 2-minute drive, as my old coach Dennis Green said, is the first one. Get a completion on the first play to get your offense in a rhythm. So often young teams don't complete that first pass, and they're struggling for the rest of the 2-minute drive.
Now the clock does stop on the incomplete pass, last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter. And that's a restart. And now Rutland drug down from behind. And again, remember, they have no timeouts. It was Michael Sweat who made the stop defensively on Rutland. So now it's 3rd down and 7. The clock continuing to run down to 1 minute and 20 remaining.
You got to snap that ball. Don't let those seconds tick off the clock.
Pass too high, 4th down. One more opportunity to keep the drive alive for Jackson State with 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining. That pass goes incomplete. Rick Comegys, a year ago, Jackson State lost their first 2 games. They lost their season opener to Delta State. Then they lost their 2nd game in Memphis to Tennessee State in the Southern Heritage Classic, 16-13. They gave up a 35-yard field goal on the last play of the game to lose that one to Tennessee State. Let's see if they can come back here with 1 minute and 9 to go. Smith was the man in motion. 4th down. This is it. And it's caught for a 1st down.
That's good.
Right at midfield, good for 15 yards. Still plenty of time. 1 minute and 2 seconds to go.
Yep, now what you're doing right now is you're calling the play. You should call the play while they're sending the ball. Clock's not running, so this way you've got the play called.
Running now.
See, I don't like that kill the clock right there. It's not like it was a 25-yard bomb down the field. He had time to get up there, start calling the play, and you would have spent maybe an extra 2 seconds, but you'd have had an extra down. You know, you're going to need these downs, so I wish that he would have called the play rather than just kill the clock on a simple 1st down. The offensive line only had to go 5 yards downfield.
Here he throws out in the flat. It's caught and out of bounds after the reception is Tillman, Keenan Tillman. Wade on the bump out of bounds, number 24, defensively there for Hampton University. And you talk about Rick Comegys coming in here and doing a great job over the last couple of years. There's been some great coaches over the years at Jackson State. Bob Hill and James Carson. W.C. Gordon went in the Hall of Fame this past summer. College Football Hall of Fame. Some running room. He needs to get out of bounds, and he does. A little short of the 1st down, though. A gain of 7 with 44 seconds to go.
Now it's 4th down. So now once again, they're they're short on downs. You know, the time they've got that under control, but now must have 4th down.
And it all goes back to the missed extra point, because even if they get downfield, they can't even think about kicking a field goal to tie the game and send it in overtime.
And this is tough because you got to get the 1st down, and once you get it, the clock's going to stop, but then you're probably going to be tackled in bounds because you can't think of taking a downfield shot right now.
And there are no timeouts remaining for Jackson State with 44 seconds to go. In the middle of the field, that's it. The game is over. Knocked down by Jonathan Wade. The pass intended for Carlos Simpson coming across. And Jonathan Wade, who played one whale of a game on the defensive side of the ball. As you look at Woody on the sideline, he is not a very happy camper. And Jackson State, barring some miracle, is going to go down in defeat. And Hampton University and Jerry Holmes, in his 1st game as a head coach, looks like he's going to come out with a victory. They lead at 17-13, and they're going to have the ball with just 40 seconds to go. No timeouts for Jackson State. All Herbert Bynes has to do is just take a knee.
Favorite formation in football.
Because they don't have to snap it. This should be the last play of the game with the 40-second clock. That should be it. That should be the ball game.
Hats off to the boys from Hampton, Virginia. They did a fantastic job, and Coach Holmes, he had that confidence about him, and we talked about his statements of confidence. Well, I like how Doug Williams put it best. If you want to play defensive back in the National Football League, you have to have a swagger and confidence about you.
You have to be a little cocky.
And he seems to have found a way to instill that in his team. And you know what? The rest of the MEAC Conference, I got news for y'all.
Watch out.
Looks like the Pirates are back.
Yeah, he's a graduate of West Virginia. Middle of 10 kids. Wife is Patricia, daughter Natasha, and went to Bethel High in Newport News, Virginia. Played on a state title team at 74 and 76. And we say congratulations to Jerry Holmes, his debut as a head coach on the college level, and he comes out with a win. Once again, our final score, Hampton University comes out with a 17-13 victory. Coming up next, Mac Tools NHRA U.S. Nationals qualifying. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long for the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, Florida. For Jay Walker and Quint Kesnich, Charlie Neal.